What the fuck is up, everybody?
Hey, everybody. Look who we have.
Hello.
Surprise.
The beautiful, amazing. Not
Yes.
you, Remy. Fuck off. Dog thinks he needs to be involved in everything I do.
Always.
This is
Always.
Remy. If you don't know Sushi, this is
Yes,
Sushi.
welcome our new
Oh, that side,
guest.
this side, whatever side.
Sushi, do you want to
I'll
give a
hold
little
both
bit of
hands
a,
up.
like, an intro? I mean, you're already in the chat most
Oh,
weeks, so I
I
feel
just
like people
ripped my
already
earbuds
know
out,
a
Mike.
little bit about you. But, like, maybe
I
we
do
can tell
that a
them
lot.
more.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sushi, and my hyperfixations are Dungeons and Dragons and Fortnite.
Wait.
But no, in all seriousness, I'm a variety streamer. Those are just the two things that I happen to stream the most of. I am officially a full-time student and full-time mom, full-time wife, all that fun stuff.
Very fun.
Yeah, I guess.
Love it. Love it,
Hey,
love
that
you.
works.
We are glad to have
Yeah.
you.
You've already been a guest on this channel in general, on our
I
community
know.
game night stream, and on the boys stream as well. I think, right?
No, we
Secret.
missed last week.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. Hand it up. He's
I
Oh,
forgot about that.
speaking of which, hang on. So we were gonna have to cancel less than normal tomorrow. But Sushi, you just want to cause hell and play some random stupid game?
I'm down.
Okay, cool. So we will have a show tomorrow. Sushi and I are just going to do something stupid.
It's
Okay,
evidently
bet.
going to be a chaos-only stream, which means join with caution.
Can
No,
I
that's
bring the
perfect.
alibi?
No, that's the reason why. Okay, so if you go on my Twitter, my bio says caffeinated mess of a mom or chaotic caffeinated mess of a mom.
Love
I think
it.
that's what it says. I don't know.
Uh,
Point is, it's something like that.
I
my
have
favorite
a Twitter,
is I'm not
but
a
I don't
hot
use
mess.
it.
I'm a spicy disaster.
Mm.
Hmm. I
And
like
you're not
that.
short,
Yeah,
you're
that's
fun
good.
size.
I am fun size.
My dad used to tell me that I
Uh,
needed to ride the short bus to school. Is that the same thing?
yes,
Mhm.
actually.
Okay.
This is why we're doing sensitivity training. That is not a thing you can say on the internet. Jesus.
Also, my dad used to call me cute but short, and I'm like, bitch, I'm 5'11". Like, what about that is fucking short? And he was like, well, you're shorter than
Yeah.
me. Everybody's shorter than you.
my-
You're fucking 6'6", dude.
Jesus.
Like,
That's a big
that's a
man.
tall bar to reach.
Yes. Yes, it is. I am not. I am 5'1.5", and that half an inch is very important to me.
That's like my mom. My mom is literally 5 foot half inch, but if you ask her, she gives herself the extra half for her to be 5'1".
Well,
That's
it's
fair.
all in
100%
hair and
fair.
attitude, I'm sure, because that's where
100.
a
Yeah.
lot of people get their extra height.
Yeah.
100%.
Which is
Being from
reasonable.
Massachusetts, that's all a masshole up there.
Love it. I love it.
Amazing.
Yes, Dave is going to be spreading the chaos.
He's always spreading chaos.
I
He's
was
never
gonna.
not.
There's not enough. I haven't. Okay. My brain went another place. So, yeah, 3 people,
I know,
motherfucker.
Viking.
Catch up.
It was a shock to us as well.
It
I mean, we
was not.
scheduled
We
it last
planned
week
it.
on air.
I know, I
So,
just work here. Triple D.
Triple D.
oh, we should have renamed it for today.
I don't know if
I'm
you guys
pretty
can
sure
hear him,
that's
but Grayson
copyrighted.
thinks everything's hilarious. He's just like laughing
Awesome.
at whatever I'm laughing at.
Love it.
I love
Is he
that.
watching?
No, God, no. Oh my
Grayson.
God, no.
I thought
Yeah,
you said
Grayson.
Dom. I'm
No,
sorry.
but Dom's at work. Dom's at work.
My brain. I had a cramp in my leg, and I blame that.
Oof.
Yeah, that's fair.
My body's betraying me again.
Oh, God.
It's like over
Well,
the weekend I sneezed and threw my back out.
mm-hmm. Been there.
Wow.
Um,
The perks of getting old,
but
yeah.
right?
I'll do it.
Talk that shit about.
Right?
Well,
Well, did we
yeah, dare I
use it
sneeze
too much
with too much?
enthusiasm?
I did. I have a vivacious sneeze, if I do say so myself. Many people yell at me about it.
Va va voom.
Oh
Or
my
more like va
gosh.
va ha shoo. It was funnier in my head.
Well, it
No,
was
it was
still
just
really
as funny
fucking
out
funny.
loud.
Okay.
It was still
Yeah.
really funny. You did sneeze like Mario yesterday. You
Sneeze like
admitted that you
Mario.
sneezed like Mario. So stop.
All I'm thinking of is the sound when Mario hits blocks. And I'm like, how does
Like
that come out of a human body?
Achoo!
Okay.
Sammy.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than the block sound.
It's a
Way more
sneeze.
sense.
Me, you know.
When my grandpa sneezes, he goes, ah, shit.
I have a friend that like says gibberish words when she sneezes, and it's very strange. Hey,
Sammy
look at that
seasonal
boy.
allergies.
It's me. Very true, Jay. Very,
that
very
was
true.
funny.
Also, Jay, earlier my grandma walked in and I had the show chat up with the corncob man.
Oh yeah.
She said it's very graphic. And I go, well, you
Mhm.
weren't meant to see it, Grandma. It was
Right.
up on your computer. So. Now I need Paul and Marco.
I love
He's
it.
just like got this red, he looks like Rudolph, the red bulbous nose.
Just covered in
That's pollen.
pollen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's Paul and Mario.
It's hard corn.
I forgot that that's what
Amazing.
you were calling it.
That's the only thing you can call it, truthfully.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
It is hardcore. Okay, I read that as fucking plants does me in, and I was very confused for the moment. It's like you shouldn't admit to that on the internet.
Oh yeah, you should not admit to that on the internet, Dave.
Well,
my leg is still cramping, guys. Somebody else talk.
Oh, that's awful. I'm so
Just gonna
sorry.
make faces for a minute.
Just make really funny ones that we can clip and then use
Right?
against you
100%.
later on, which
Remington.
is what we do
Ah,
always anyway.
right?
Remy
Very
is like
true.
very much in your shit today.
He is all over it.
Yeah, I love it.
The dying and all.
Yeah, we're not going to allow the dying to happen on air
No.
today.
Yeah, let's
I
not.
mean, that's for the Patreon. So
Right. Can you imagine if that's our
dying
first
for fun and
upload?
profit. Um,
It's just Dave
Not
screaming
really.
in
Don't do
pain
that.
for
That's
10
fucked up.
minutes.
It's so funny.
That's
It's
like
just
my
a
TikTok.
string of profanities from Dave.
Look here,
Yep.
Jake Paul. This is why we're doing sensitivity training. We don't
We
upload
have
things
a
of
lot of
people
reasons.
dying or dead.
Well,
No.
dying can be interpreted many different ways.
Hey, I die laughing every week on this show. So
Ugh, same.
True.
Fucking big fan.
Valid.
Yeah.
I am valid. Thank you for noticing.
Speaking of every week on this show, has anything happened in y'all's weeks since the last time we met? Which was for me and Danger
Our
last
new
Tuesday.
fridge finally got here.
Yay. I was hoping you would tell everyone.
Guys. Yes.
For a resolution of that saga.
Yes, that saga that has been a month and a half of nonsense. But yes,
Far
it
too
got
long.
delivered like 7:20 this morning. It was awful, but the two guys that delivered it were really nice. So and then they just like, the straps and they pick that shit up like it's nothing. And it makes
Oh my
me
God.
feel completely incapable. But I was also at the same time like, haha, that's your job, not mine.
Right? I could never. I would never. Even if I
Right?
could, I wouldn't.
Like, let me reiterate, I threw my back out sneezing this weekend. I clearly can't lift a refrigerator. But
I had a
so
princess in the pea moment where I have like a little, headphones case for my little earbuds. And I had tossed it onto my bed as I was moving from one room into another. And then when I went to get
lost it.
in bed, I was like, I know I put my headphones on my bed, but I don't see it. Like I ripped all the blankets off the bed. I'm telling you, I looked for this fucking
Oh
thing.
God.
And then I wake up the next morning because I was like, after a certain point, I was like, fuck it. I must not have put it where I thought I put it. It's somewhere in here. I'll find it tomorrow. So I went to bed. I woke up the next morning and I was like, holy shit, my back hurts so fucking bad. Like I should not feel this shitty after a night sleeping on, like, I have a purple mattress. So it's a good mattress. And I like
Good
roll
things
over
happen.
and it's because I spent the entire night on top of my headphones case.
I do that
I
with
was
our
like, how did I
remote
miss
all the
it?
time.
Yes.
Really?
We have a jailbroken Fire Stick.
Nice.
So we always lose it in our bed sheets, like constantly. Like
Yeah.
I'll have it in my hand, and
Yeah.
then like I'll set it down to like lift the blanket up, get all cozy, snuggle up to
Yeah.
Dom, whatever. And then I go to grab it, and I'm like, excuse me,
Yeah,
what do
you
you
were
mean?
just
Like it just disappears. So I'm always like, we need to like get like a glow in the dark sticker or something, or like one of those
put a bell on
the
it.
tag or something, like the
Yeah.
tag things to put
Well,
on
but
there.
I don't know if that'll work. Like if that you too make those calls. I was gonna say you also can't spell today apparently. But I can't spell any days. So that's
You should
like
put it on like a bungee cord and like attach it to the
yeah.
underside of the bed
Honestly.
so that
Or
you can just
do
like
like
pull it.
just put double-sided 3M like Velcro sticky, and then you can stick it to the wall.
Yeah.
Because like my
Ooh.
ceiling fan has a mount that the remote came with. But I still haven't figured out how to fucking hook it up to the Google or my phone. But I can also do
To the
that.
Google.
Um
To the Google.
Chris,
Google.
are we sure you're sober? There's like 4 spelling mistakes in a row.
You know
I
what?
think
You know what?
I think Santa Claus is gonna give him a dictionary for Christmas.
Dude, we should do like LTN
Santa's
Secret
gonna get him
Santa.
hooked on phonics instead. The whole training course.
No,
You know,
speaking Spanish for dummies, clearly. Like that's what he needs.
Chris.
Not that you're a dummy.
Grayson has a program on his tablet called ABC Mouse.
Mhm.
And he gets to play
That sounds
games, and it's like
cute.
learning with fun, right? There you
So-
go.
Yeah.
Matt had to play this game called Geometry Dash. Hair on my lipstick. For school, and like literally, like it just looks fun. Next week, Dictionary. Oh.
All I can think about is Coyote Man from our
I was
Discord.
gonna say that book page that we
Which-
shared yesterday.
If you're not in our Discord and don't know what I'm talking about,
Mhm.
there's the socials link. Join us.
Go.
Be scarred
It's
for
in
yourself.
Run.
memes. It's pretty fucking funny.
It's hilarious,
saw it-
actually.
like so, and I don't lie. Like joining so the Facebook group that is anything is a dildo if you're brave enough is the name of the Facebook group that this picture was in. You
I don't think bravery is the only condition. I think stupidity plays a role as well, but carry
I'm
on.
also confused about statement. I'm going to ignore it for a minute. Because that it could be a double entendre, right? Like
No, it definitely is.
100% it is.
It has
Right.
to
100%
be.
it is.
It has to
But
be.
yeah, check it out on the Discord. Because I like it was very much one of those things where it's like I saw this and now everybody else has to too. But also it clearly is in like a very oh fuck.
Oh dear God! Don't put that image in the Discord, please. Let's just keep it wholesome. Peni only.
Wait, it's wholesome? It's wholesome?
There is no wholesome.
Cries in Christian Minecraft server.
I was gonna say, not in my Christian Minecraft server, we're not wholesome.
Not in my Christian Fortnite lobby.
We do actually have a Christian Minecraft server in our Discord, but you do have to get special
do.
permissions to be in there.
You do, because when, and I honestly debated,
what we
I didn't
post
know
in
if it should go there or the other one. Oh,
Nah, there's fine.
nice.
I love it.
Marth, man, Marth. Remy is just gonna keep
Mm-mm.
attacking me for treats. Apparently, these delightfully delicious oven baked all natural dog treats are fire. So
Must be.
he literally is like climbing on me, staring at the bag of them.
He's like, Mom, please. I promise it won't ruin my dinner. Please.
Man, this dog eats like he's never eaten before in his life. All the time.
Yeah, that's literally Loki.
Yeah, I'll do it. Like,
Yeah.
because Loki is a shepherd mix too, isn't he?
So, I don't know. We think so. Okay, so we got him 4 years ago because we got him. I was halfway through my pregnancy with Grayson. When we got him, and we were told he was a corgi.
Oh yeah, there's no way he's a corgi.
But there's no
No shot.
That's a big stretch. So we're thinking he's like a Belgian Malinois, like mix or something. Because we got him in El Paso, so you get military working dogs, border patrol, working dogs, whatever. So, it wouldn't be too far out of the reach or realm of possibility for him to be like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they said that he was a corgi mix, and I'm like, there's no way. No way. But it's like it's so funny because I took him to the vet to get their vaccines like updated. And they're like, "What kind of breed is he?" And I was like,
You
I
tell
don't
me.
fucking know.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He knows I'm talking about him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
adorable.
You wanna come say hi?
Yes.
Yeah, come say hi.
I got treats.
Look at his face.
He
Yeah.
she was like
Look at
feeling
his
his
face,
rib cage, and she was like, "So he's a
He's a
really
little-
weird shape, but he's technically obese, like borderline obese."
Wow.
So we call him
it's funny, but-
Sausage Man.
Oh.
Sausage
I mean,
Man.
there might because he is longer, if I remember right.
Yeah,
So there
no,
might be
he's
a
definitely
little,
long.
but he's definitely not
Let's see if I-
predominantly.
Here. There we go.
He's so
Aw.
cute.
He's so cuddly.
Oh, he's like, "Sweet mom, I love you, even though I'm
He's
bigger than I
such a
was meant to be."
baby. He's such
Remy,
a big
you
baby.
can't eat grapes, asshole. Come on. These ones are gone. You want the Looney Tune ones, but they're gone, dude.
He's so starved for attention, you guys. Honestly, like, look at this
Yeah.
neglected little baby.
You clearly never love him
He
or
looks,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
never even
he's
look in his direction.
he's
Right?
so bad when it comes to food and Grayson because like he'll just like the smallest like little crumb, he's like, I'm starving, need to eat, but he's got
Yeah.
we have the two dogs, so we've got him and then we've got my old lady who's laying over there, "Ooh, pizza." So
Oh, I was like, pizza, where?
so we have
Should have
like
known better.
we let them free feed. So there's always like 2 bowls of food, yet
All done.
he's so hungry. He's so starved. That's why he's
Yeah.
obese.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Oh, fat boy.
Well, that's like
Oh,
my
fat boy.
135-pound Mastiff mix. Thinks
Yeah.
she's never eaten before in her life, too.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
I
okay.
love it.
Goodbye. You're getting me so covered with and he sheds. He sheds
Yeah.
so much.
Both of mine do, too.
It's so much. And it
Um,
doesn't go away. And
Never.
I cry so much.
And I cry to myself.
I love it.
Yeah. No, I don't like it, but
He actually picked out his name too.
yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we got him, we had a hard time thinking of what to call him because I had ideas that I liked, Dom had ideas. So
What did you
we tested out a couple names.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like we would call him by the name and then see how he would respond to it. And the only one he had a really strong connection listening to was Loki, and it
No.
fits. It fits
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. He looks like a Loki. We
I love that
considered
though.
naming Remy Loki because he's an asshole. But
Yeah.
he's a lovable asshole.
That's the
But
distinction.
Yep.
right? Yeah. I mean, can't get rid of him now. So my warranty is up.
Bummer.
There's just little Grayson in the background.
Yeah.
I love it. That little kid energy.
Adorable. I
Mm.
wish I
But
had
yeah,
that.
it's sometimes really nice,
yeah.
and then sometimes it's like,
No, I wish I had that energy. Not that that energy was
oh,
in my
oh,
house
Yeah,
yeah.
from
I
another
thought you
no.
person.
totally meant like
Like
you
I
wish you had
personally
that.
want
Yeah.
to
He'll
possess
wake
That
up
that
in the
toddler.
energy.
morning. He'll wake up in the morning like he is such a morning person and I'm just like
Oof.
I need coffee. I
Yeah,
don't talk to me.
yeah.
Don't touch me, don't
Uh,
look at me, don't talk to me until I'm awake.
Oh yeah, I had to train my parents on that rule too because my dad would like right when I wake up, he'd be like, "So, how'd you sleep? What do you want to do today? Like play 20 questions." And I'd be like, "Literally, fuck off." And he'd be like, "I don't think you should talk to me like that." And I was like, "I don't think you should ask me questions in the morning."
yeah,
And eventually he
yeah.
got the hint and he would be like,
It's
"You're not awake. I'm going to go elsewhere." And I was like,
right.
"Mhm."
Yeah.
I literally showed Matt I think it was a cup or a shirt or something that said, "Do not talk to me until I've had my coffee," over the weekend. And then I saw a shirt today, and I have to say it now because I will totally forget, and I know Dave will get a kick out of it. But it was on a TikToker that I watched, Amakassis, and
I love her.
she's so fantastic, isn't she?
Me
But
Oh
too.
my
today,
god, I love
one of her
her.
videos, she had a shirt that said, "Emo didn't die; it just grew up and had kids." And it got old
I
and had
love
kids.
that.
Like,
Yep.
yes.
That's
But
She's
amazing.
amazing.
I had to tell it because of emo Nemo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the most exciting thing in my week was the new refrigerator, bringing it back around because we do always come to
Oh
that
yeah.
close. I am about to kick my
Forgot I
fucking
asked
dog
that
out of my
question.
bedroom. So, that was 30 minutes ago. It's fine. No big deal.
Yeah. Eh, it happens.
Welcome to the ADHD show.
Yeah. That's what we probably should have
Honestly,
named it.
though.
So I also found out. Well, but I found out too that apparently, at least in Minnesota right now, there is a shortage on Adderall. And so I couldn't get my
Pretty
Wow.
Adderall,
dangerous.
which devastating, right? Like it's an
Yeah.
amphetamine. So I'm trying Vyvanse, which I like the effect of it and whatnot, but my insurance doesn't cover it, so it cost me $371 with the coupon.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was like, this fucking sucks. So I have to send my doctor another message and say, well, we got to keep going to the drawing board because nobody knows when Adderall is going to be back in stock.
Wow.
Anyway, that's all. I'm done talking.
Ugh, that's so annoying though. Fuck the
Well,
American healthcare system. Fuck it
my
like
grandma
a
and I were talking
steep
about that.
asshole.
Dead ass.
Yeah. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Oh my
Ugh.
goodness.
Well, I'm glad that you have recovered from sneezing your back out
Yeah.
and supervising the refrigerator people. That's good. I spent the weekend, so we have my fall lacrosse clinic getting ready to start up for the program that
Oh
I run.
yeah.
And so this weekend we had equipment issue, which involves getting like boys outfitted in the helmet and shoulder pads and arm guards and gloves. And it's so freaking cute because we do ages like 5 to 14. So little
Oh.
5-year-olds and all of their pads, it is so cute. And this one kid like wanted to wear it in the car ride home, and his dad was like, "I think maybe we'll take it off." And I was like, "No, let him do it. It's so cute."
That's so
But it was
funny.
also like 90 freaking degrees outside. It was so
Yeah.
hot. I was dying. But it was a lot of fun. But now I am so tired. Like
Yeah. I
so tired because it's a lot.
especially just
But it
being
was fun.
outside for that long. Like that's tiring in and of
Yeah,
itself. Leaving my house is tiring, but
Yep.
everything is tiring. Waking up is tiring these days.
Just existence.
I've never
Right?
been more
Existence.
tired than when I have to wake up.
I
Um
know. It's the worst.
It's so funny because everyone so when, when you go to the doctor and, they're like, "Oh, how did you sleep? Like, how do you sleep? Do you wake up feeling refreshed?" I straight up and I like one day I was like, "That's a thing?" Like, do
yeah.
people
Do that?
I can literally count one single time that I remember actually waking up and feeling energized.
Yeah.
And it
And I bet you
certainly
it was
wasn't
before
after I
you had
had kids.
I was
It's
just gonna say it was
I
before
feel like
Grayson. Yeah.
I feel like I might have been pregnant or it was like the year before.
Well, they're like the hormones can do some funky shit to
Yeah.
you. Like with my because you can't take Adderall or anything when you're
Mhm.
pregnant.
Right.
And um like but the hormone like boost like I have a sleeping disorder for those of you that don't know. So I take the Adderall initially for that. But it was through that I learned I have ADHD
Oh,
because I
wow.
didn't know what life could be with medication prior to being put on it for something different. But I like had a doctor's note to take naps because and it was like a 15-minute nap
That's
3 times a
amazing.
day or whatever I needed because it's similar to narcolepsy, but it's not narcolepsy. Um,
Mhm.
but this, like, yeah, you can tell I'm still getting used to the Vyvanse. So I'm
Yeah.
more mouth. I apologize.
No,
You're
Um,
good.
no.
You're good. You're
I also
valid.
told myself
I can
before
tell
this, I'm
because your
like,
train of thought gets disrupted differently than it does when
yeah,
you're on Adderall.
that's good to know though.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. I mean, it's my second day. Like I literally got it filled last night, so
It takes
um,
yeah, it takes getting used
it'll
to.
take some time. I'll probably get used to it in time for me to get put on something else.
Right? No, always.
Yep.
The
That's
only
usually
Um,
how
time
it
I've
goes.
woken up feeling refreshed was when I had to be put under anesthesia.
oh sure,
Actually, that that one for sure.
yeah,
But also when I passed out getting shots because I held my breath. And so I
mm,
literally just fainted in the doctor's office.
yeah.
And I had a beautiful dream while I was passed out. I was in like a peaceful forest and there were birds and they were chirping and it was nice. And then I
You're
woke
like
up and I
Snow
was like,
White.
I feel amazing. And they're like,
That's
you literally just
awesome.
That's
passed out. You shouldn't
wow.
feel good. And I was like, but I do. And they're like, we can't
So
let you leave until you drink this orange juice and eat these peanut butter
Yeah.
crackers. And I was like,
right,
"That's fine and all. I'm happy to do that. Those are 2 of my favorite things, but I
yeah,
feel fine."
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
like,
I fainted
"That's so
twice
normal."
giving plasma.
yeah. I
Really?
have fainted
Yeah.
giving blood once, but when I got my first tattoo on my back, that's when I learned I hold my breath when I'm in pain. Because
Yep.
I fainted during my tattoo.
So mine's not
Wow.
even the pain, mine is the anticipation.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't I'm not afraid of, like, the pain of the needle going in. I just am afraid of, like, the weight leading up to it.
yeah. The
So it's like
anxiety.
your best yeah, I have to tell people if I ever get shots or ever do blood work, I'm like, "First of all, do not count. Don't tell me you're gonna go on 3 and then start
Yeah,
counting. Literally just
Mhm.
stab me. It'll work
just
out
yeah,
better for all of us."
yeah.
And they're like, "I don't think so." And I was like, "No, trust me. I'm 30, I've been
Trust
doing this a
me.
while."
Right. That's so funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
outside of that one time, and I think my iron was like real borderline.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
one time I passed out because I've given blood a lot. I also like the last time when I was still working for the clinic, we did a blood drive I went down there and I was like, we all got like paid to go give blood. It was awesome. And I was done in under 2 minutes because I
Wow.
just bled that fast. And I was like, can we stretch this out, please? Like,
Yeah, right?
what do you need me to do? You need me to fall asleep? I'll fall asleep. Like, fine, whatever. What do you, I
I
signed
think
up
that
for
was
like
Dave's way
20
of
minutes
saying,
to
like, I'm
miss.
feeling lightheaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just was like, fuck this shit. But they did say
Right?
that I was the fastest bleeder, at least of the day. The girl that did my phlebotomist was like, I don't think I've ever seen someone like fill the bag this quickly. I'm like, thank you. I think is that
Is
good
that
thing, a
good?
bad thing, a
Like,
compliment? What?
yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Am I a medical oddity that's needing to be investigated? What's happening here?
Yeah, exactly. Like, do I need to see a
Literally.
doctor? Like,
Yeah.
the fuck? Fill the bag. Shut up.
The big.
Don't make fun of my accent.
I have really
Yes.
good veins, and like I never have a problem getting sick.
Yeah.
The
Good for
one
you.
time that I've had a problem, um, those of you new to me, which is probably everybody here, I had gastric bypass surgery 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and they went to go find my vein for the anesthesia,
Yeah.
Mm.
and I was like, I was dehydrated because,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I couldn't have fluids until like from like dinner the night before.
Yeah.
Um, so I was dehydrated. I could only take enough water for, the meds or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I can see one here and I can see like I still see my veins. And for whatever reason, it was a like a student because it was on the military
Uh-huh.
base, so they were here to get their training.
Sure.
And she went in and she was fishing for my vein
Oh.
in my arm.
Oh.
Couldn't find it. So she took the
Oh.
ultrasound wand with the hand and
Yeah.
pushed down on it while she was still fishing
Yeah.
with the needle. And
Oh
I
my
Yeah.
had
God.
I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
And it was so visible to my face that the instructor was like, "I'ma just and sure
Yeah. Let
enough,
me step in here. Yeah.
right where I said the vein was exactly where she got it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know my body. Like, I know you don't. I literally had a bruise like that big on my forearm for the longest time.
Oh, I
It was
know.
the
I
worst.
so just before I went away to college my freshman year, I had to get a bunch of blood work done for various different reasons. And I also evidently got a new tech as well. And so he tried in one arm, which my veins aren't always cooperative. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
Mhm.
So I was like, all right, that's fine. So then he switches over to the other arm, had just as much of a hard time. So I literally had track marks up and down both arms.
Oof.
Um,
Which
I
is always a
also,
good look. Always.
right? Also, unfortunately, at that same time, I had hung out with a boy days before. And he left the blackest hickey I've ever seen on my neck. Like, I mean, it was pure black, the color of it. And it went like all the way around my neck. Like it was massive.
He really said
Um,
chomp.
he really did.
Wait, is this 3-year guy?
No, this is somebody else.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
I
so
didn't know how else to. I'm glad you know who I was talking
yeah, I
about.
know. So I went to move-in day. First of all, I went to school in North Carolina. In August is when we move in. So it was hotter than hell. Like it's
Yeah.
humid
Mhm.
as fuck and it's hot. Um, so I had to wear my hair down the entire time because my parents were moving in and I didn't want them to see this massive fucking hickey. They already knew about the track marks because they were the one that took me to school. But I'm moving into this new room. I'm meeting this roommate for the first time. We have had like 0 interactions because my roommate got changed at the last minute. So this girl knows literally nothing about me other than my fucking name. And I come in and I have my hair down. I'm a hot ass mess. And when I because I think I had even worn a long sleeve shirt that day, because again, the track marks were awful. And when I
Yeah.
take it off, I'm just like, she just looks at me and she's like, and I was like, let me explain. I
Hold on a
swear to
second.
God.
Let's
I
pause.
swear it's not what
Yeah.
you think.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay.
Like, sure
So
it's
yeah,
not.
that was the first time I gained my roommate. It's just hazy all the way around my neck. And trash pack marks from just getting blood work done. Normal blood panel. Nothing
That's
crazy.
so
I
funny.
But I look
think
like
I've
a
only
psycho.
like ever had one hickey, maybe two.
I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
I'm too old for
Yeah,
that
I'm
shit
with
though.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I plead
I
the
do
fifth.
Yeah.
remember burning
done a lot.
myself with a curling iron and everybody thought it was a hickey. I'm like, no, I'm just a fucking
Mhm.
idiot that burned myself with a curling iron this morning, dumbasses. Like,
Yeah.
they look
Sure.
totally different. No, I
They
really
do
did.
look totally
Even my
different.
mom made fun of me, but she heard me swear when I did it. And so she knew what happened. But then when I got home from school, she's like, how's your hickey doing? I was like, not really. I didn't start swearing around my mom until after I moved out. But
Yeah, I still don't say the
Yeah.
F word around my mom. I don't know. It's like it's weird.
yeah,
Really?
I
It's
do.
weird. Yeah.
I think I
It's
started pretty much as soon as I turned 18. I started using it, but definitely when I went off to college, when I came back, I started
Yeah.
using all the curse words in front of them. And they were like, I don't know who you think you are. And I was like, I think I'm an adult
Chris?
now. And they were like, fair enough. And then that was the end
Yeah.
of that
I mean,
conversation. It was great.
yeah.
But they
It's
still joke around that that's what I went to school for, was an education in curse words. And I was like, no, I learned those like way longer ago.
right, but they're I'm really just trying not to
restart
yeah.
young in New England with swearing. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to
Yeah.
be fair, not only was I born and raised in New England, but every male figure in my family has been a sailor of some sort, whether
Yeah.
it be in the Navy or the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
There
kind
you
of
go.
And that's like with
kinda
Matt. Like, I
like,
let Matt swear. I could care as long as he doesn't swear at me or swear out of anger, I could care
yeah.
less. Like, to me,
Yeah.
they're words. But when it starts to become a problem,
Right.
like lately his
Mhm.
thing is viewing it every other word. I'm like, not every other word needs to be the F word, Matt. Like, pepper it in. It's like season. But I do it too, so it's fine.
I think they called them sentence enhancers on that episode of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I love it.
They
Love
are.
it. Um, so
Wow. Do we want
yeah,
to move on
move into
into some Am I the Asshole posts?
always.
Hell yeah.
Always.
Speaking of cussing,
Yeah, well, I don't think my first story has any, but again, I don't fully read them. I just like sight read them to make sure that it's
right,
not anything that we shouldn't be talking about on the stream. But I want it to be a surprise for all of us.
right.
So,
I do the same,
yeah.
and that's why
All
I always
right.
find like triple the amount, just in
I
case.
know,
We
right?
always end up having at least one that's the same one.
Oh, absolutely. So my first one is called Am I the Asshole for Not Letting My Cousin Get Married in the Family Summer House for Free?
I saw this
Ooh, I
one.
don't think I
Yeah.
did.
I
Love
almost
it.
picked this one.
Ooh. Okay. See, we're
Love it.
already on the same page, Sushi.
Love
You're
it.
already
Yep.
like a part of the channel
Same
because this is what we do every
brain.
week. I love it. All right. So, okay, I am looking for outside opinions here. I can preface with the idea that I don't think I'm an asshole here. My partner, however, thinks it's a difficult situation and thought this would be a good idea since she lurks here all the time and a lot of the responses are good. Also, I'm not a native English speaker. So, I'm a 28-year-old woman. I am gay, and this is important to the story. Now, my mother is a single mother. She comes from a big conservative Christian family. My mom was easily the black sheep. She had me at 16, which in and of itself was a big issue for my grandfather. We lived with my grandparents until my mother, at the age of 25, came out as gay. That was the limit for my grandfather, and he disowned my mother, and my mom cut all contact with her family. Now, my grandparents were rich, not extremely, but they had a lot of money, especially a big quote unquote summer house. But really, it's just a big house with a beautiful scenery next to a beautiful lake. It was laid down by my grandfather's father and has been improved upon and renovated. It has been somewhat of a family retreat where all my uncles, aunts, cousins visit regularly during the summer. I visited twice when I was younger and I loved it. Sadly, when COVID hit, my grandfather and mother passed away. Now, this made my grandmother reach out to me, and I liked that. She wanted to make it up as much as she could. Sadly, last year, she passed away as well. She left token sums to all of her children and grandchildren, but in compensation, she also left me the summer house. I then made it into an Airbnb, and I have been making a lot of cash from it. Obviously, this made the rest of my family furious because they could no longer visit during the summer, which is the prime season. But again, I don't know them or my cousins, and so here's where I think I might be the asshole. My aunt reached out to me the other week telling me, not asking, but telling me, that her daughter had planned to have her wedding there next summer. She had been dreaming of it since she was a child, and apparently it's the designated family wedding spot. The house has been hired out for weddings before, since there's a room for a venue and lots of rooms for guests to stay over. Now, I told my aunt that that was not possible because the week she wanted to have her wedding was already booked. But I said if she wanted a different date, she could put down a deposit for what I charge for a wedding and book a different date. Now, she was furious and asked if I was seriously actually charging my family to have their wedding there. And I said, I don't know them, have not met them in person since I was like 6, and that yes, I would because weddings bring in a lot of money. Her family has been blowing up my phone and social media, calling me an asshole. So, am I the asshole?
No. That's your house.
Right? Not only that, but it's so much entitlement to just assume that you get to use a house that you rent out for a business, and that's a lot of fucking work to like have a wedding venue.
Right.
That's not only just wedding, but like the hotel, equivalent
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
having it all in one place.
Exactly.
But to just assume that you can do it, that's fucking ridiculous.
Just
That
because
is
you're
absolutely
family.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Not to
like if
mention,
the photographer was family, would you expect the entire shoot plus video for free? Was your
Right.
right.
family?
No,
You
never.
do
Well, I mean,
like you
people
give
will, but you
something.
shouldn't.
Well, yeah, you
Yeah.
shouldn't
Right.
you shouldn't expect it. People probably would in place of like a wedding gift, but
No.
Right.
no, definitely
Even
not the
that,
asshole.
that's photography is so expensive, especially we've talked about
It
this on the show
is.
before. Like in my area, it's way more expensive than in Danger's area just because I'm on the East Coast and everything's more
Yeah,
Right.
expensive out here.
Oh yeah, my ex is
true
a
that.
wedding one of his jobs is as a wedding photographer, and I helped him build all the packages and his marketing materials and stuff out
Yeah,
there. Um, but yeah, it's like crazy expensive.
it is. But yeah, I just thought that was so ridiculous. First of all, the aunt and the cousin didn't even ask, like, hey, it's been a family tradition. Like, if they had come in and like explained it a little bit better, I think it could have maybe gotten off on a different start. But just to come in and
Right.
be like, hey, so my daughter's getting married there next summer.
Yep.
Like, just to start
Right.
off with that is
Right.
insane. Now, do I think that you're maybe like a little bit of asshole for charging full rate? Maybe, but again,
Right.
you have such a
Yeah.
complicated family history that it's like,
Right.
eh, I can give a pass on that.
Right.
Normally, I'd be like, nah, it's family. Give them a little something, something off the top. But here,
Yeah.
it's like, nah, you got a
Right.
complicated
Well,
thing, and your whole family fucking disowned you and your mom because of your choice of who you love, which is so fucked up.
Yep.
yeah, it
And now
really
you
is.
expect something for free for them because they're in a position that you
Right.
like, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. If they had come to you and said, "Hey, I have always loved this property. I've always dreamt of having my wedding here.
Mhm.
I'm willing to pay. What would you charge for me?" Like as
Yeah,
the business owner, I would then want to work with them as family,
right.
even not
Yeah,
knowing them very well.
absolutely.
But to just be like, "No, we're doing this up here. Fuck you. Go
Yeah.
Yep.
sit in the
Also,
porta
is
potty
it
out
just
there."
me? But I feel like it's a red flag that the aunt is reaching out and not the cousin that's actually getting married.
Right.
Like, why isn't she the one, like, the person
Yeah.
actually getting married isn't the one reaching out? I think that's interesting
Well,
as well.
it's sometimes, the cousin might feel just like she doesn't have enough pull because they don't know each other as well. So the aunt might be like, "This is my sister's or my brother's baby. Like, let me handle this." Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel
It
like that's like a power move situation where it's like they're trying to be
oh,
like, I'm your
100%.
elder, instead of just being
A
like, we're
100%.
coming to each other on the same footing.
Right. Yeah, it's 100% a power. 100%.
Yeah.
Um, all right, where's my screen? Hold on. Uh oh,
Yeah, I
100% it's a
agree. It's
Karen.
definitely a possible
Karen.
Karen.
100% it's a Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, mine is, am I the asshole for going home after I overheard my husband say he didn't want to bring me with him to his family vacation? My husband goes on annual
Okay.
vacations with his family. I'm on okay terms with them, but since we've only been married for a short time, I don't see his family very much. We still have that barrier that keeps us from being completely comfortable around each other. His family arranged for this
Okay.
vacation last week. Oh, arranged for the vacation last week. not like they planned it last week. I, out of curiosity, asked if I could come. My husband felt hesitant, but I told him it would be a great opportunity for me to get to know his family better. He agreed to take me, and his family were surprised to see me, but still welcomed me. On the third day of the vacation, his dad, mom, brothers, and their spouses were all sitting at a table outside talking while I was preparing a fruit salad. As I was making my way back, I overheard my mother in law say, Did she really have nowhere else to spend the weekend? Sorry, there was a typo, my brain didn't like it.
Aw.
At first, I had no idea who she was talking about, so I kept on walking, but I stopped once I overheard my husband say, "I know!" And I didn't want to bring her with me, but what was I supposed to do? You know how pushy she can get.
Absolutely
I
not.
I'm sorry,
instantly
what?
figured it was about me.
Absolutely not.
I felt so
Never.
shaken up and to the point to where I almost dropped the salad. This whole time where I cleaned, cooked, and looked after the kids, this is how they think of me, an inconvenience to them. I
Right.
quietly booked a ticket and went home on the first plane. He called and texted, but I didn't respond to anything other than to let him know that I was home. He got back and went off on me, saying that
Yep.
what I did was disrespectful and juvenile. I told him I overheard the conversation he had with his mom, but he said that I was wrong for eavesdropping and that his family will warm up to me on their terms. I should stop pushing to be around that when they don't feel comfortable with it. Basically
Absolutely
That's
saying
not.
it was my fault for coming along in the first place. He said that going home like that made him and his family disappointed and gave them a really bad impression about me. I think that I may
Good.
have messed this up and somewhat ruined it for them as well.
Bye, bitch. I mean, honestly, she's not in the
Right?
wrong. They are.
Yeah.
I'd be, first of all, if I were married and my husband were like talking to his family, being like, oh God, I know, I don't want to bring her along on my family fucking vacation.
Especially
I'd be
when
like, well, they weren't
everybody
our
else
family
had their
anymore.
spouses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if it was just like, say, like, because, Dom comes from a big family. So if it was like his parents and they wanted to take all the boys together to go on a trip, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But if my
Right. Different
brother-in-law
scenario.
brings his wife
Yeah.
and I'm not brought up in the conversation, then I'd be
Right.
like, okay, this is kind of a red flag.
Right.
A
100%.
super
And
big
and
red
like
flag.
they're I mean, yeah, 100%. I mean, like they've only been married a short time, but I mean, did they elope? Like I want like just because I'm a
Oh,
nosy
yeah.
bitch,
So
like
many
I want that
questions.
additional
Yeah.
information.
Right.
But I mean, the fact that she had to fly home says like, I mean,
I
maybe
just
that
want to hug her.
I know,
right?
right?
Um, like
That's awful.
it's just ridiculous.
And for him to be like, you shouldn't have eavesdropped on our conversation. It's like, no,
You
bitch,
Fuck
shouldn't have
you. I
had
you
was
have been
that
bringing
talking
your
bad
ass
about your
conversation.
food.
fucking
Yeah.
wife.
You should have
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
had that conversation to begin
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it's very
Oh,
much
it would be
like
a
to
super
me,
big
it's
deal
one of
breaker for
those
me.
things where he probably didn't come off this way until after they were married. Because guys do that
Right.
all the time, especially like narcissists and all of like they can be the most charming, wonderful people. Not you.
Dave's making faces in the background.
He is.
No, I mean,
But like people they can. The difference is knowing if you're like a narcissist and working on it or not knowing. And not that he is, but
right.
just the thing, you know.
Also, to be like, you just have to like, my family needs to warm up to you in their own way. You can't force it. Like, I'm sorry.
She just wanted
No,
to come
once you're
live.
That would
married, there has to
never
be some sort
happen.
of like expectation of like, she's with me now, so y'all got to get cool with it in whatever way y'all got to get cool with it and do it fast. You know what I mean? Like, are there exceptions to that? Obviously. Obviously there are. But like for that to be his response of just like, well, like it's my family, you got to learn to live with it. No, no. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Because what if they never accept it? What are you gonna
Well, if
do?
he never
You
lets you
just gonna
come
be
on trips,
miserable?
then it's never going to happen.
Exactly. Exactly. You sometimes have to open the door and just a
Right.
little bit of a nudge. And I feel like a family
Yeah.
vacation,
Right.
like I said, all the other spouses were there too. So that's so screwed up.
Yeah.
So screwed up.
Yeah. It's just like yeah, my heart just breaks because
Yeah.
I mean she I think literally was doing it to say, "Hey, like I I want to try to like make the effort here to
Yeah.
get to know your family and then to have that be the reaction. And I'm sorry, your husband should never be talking about you like
Yeah.
that behind your back.
No.
He
You
should have
know,
Like,
defended
even if
her.
it is to family.
right?
Yeah.
That's ugh,
Why are you? Dave's dancing now.
I know.
Confused. Much confusion.
Is that what that is?
I don't know. We'll go with
It's
it.
an approximation of dancing.
Oh my
uh,
god.
yeah. So,
All
all
right, Sushi, you
right,
ready to read
sushi.
your
Okay.
first one?
Yes, oh, my first Am I the Asshole?
I love
Yay!
it. I'm excited.
This is
I
like my
picked
favorite.
so I picked this one because it kind of, like, reminded me a little bit of, like, my family situation, just
Sure.
because I
Okay.
have a lot of, like, half brothers, half sisters, and all that jazz. So it kind of feels like something that would have come up for me.
Okay.
Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my mom she doesn't have a right to say whether my half brother wants to be invited to my wedding?
Ooh,
Ooh,
I'm
good
getting
shade.
married.
juicy.
Yes,
I like it.
oh. I'm getting married, and my mom and I are fighting about whether my half brother should be invited or not. My dad was married before. He and his first wife divorced after my half brother was born. Dad ended up moving and seeing him in the summers. Then he met my mom. My mom had my sister already. Then she had me and my brother. When my half brother was 11, his mom died. His mom had been sick for a long time, so it was no big surprise, and because of that, he lived with his grandparents. When his mom died, Dad had planned to bring him back after the funeral, but my half brother wanted to stay with his family. Dad and the grandparents talked it over and they felt it would be better if they stayed in the home he'd always known with the family he loved. That Dad could visit and all, but the rest of us were strangers to him. Dad hoped with time and regular trips back to see my half brother that he might want to live with us, but he never did. He kept in touch with Dad. Dad has flown out a lot for sorry? Dad has flown out for a lot of the big moments in his life, but we have never been a true part of his life. In all honesty, my mom, siblings, and I have never actually met him in person. Mom hated
Whoa.
Dad's decision. She
Yeah.
said my half brother needed parents, that he should have made him move with him after his mom died. My dad said it wasn't the best thing for his son. It was always a disagreement between them, especially when he
Oof.
wouldn't make him accept the invites to stay with us, or add pressure on him to do it. He's a married father now, but still chooses to have contact with Dad. They call and text fairly regularly. It's why I mm, it's why I had asked him about half brother when I got engaged. I told him he was a stranger to me. Dad agreed. He also said he wouldn't come if I did invite him and that he wouldn't be hurt to not be. My mom does not like it though,
Interesting.
and she told me that I should invite him, that he's family. He's her and my dad's son and mine and my siblings' big brother. I pointed out that he was a stranger and that Dad and I had discussed it. She knows he would want to be invited and she knows I should. I told her she didn't have the right to say that and when she doesn't know him and isn't paying for my wedding. She lost it. Saying she didn't have the right to say it pissed her off because she feels like it's implying she didn't want to know him when she did. And it makes her sound like she didn't have the right to her opinion. Am I the asshole?
Complicated, man.
Yeah.
That's very
That's
complicated.
so complex.
Um, yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot.
I mean,
I
I
think
don't
it's kind of yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think she's the asshole. I mean, cuz it was all on half brother,
Right.
cuz
Right.
cuz I know if it was like me and my situation, I would kind of be of course it's like complicated. It's always complicated, but I know
Right.
if it was my position, um I would feel kind of uncertain about moving with my dad and my siblings' mom, because I would just
Fair.
there would always be some part of me feeling and I guess it kind of, like it's kind of current now, because, out of me and my brother, I'm the only one that has a different dad than my brother. So,
Mhm.
I kind of felt always growing up felt kind of out of place,
Right.
because, my brother was biologically both of theirs, so I figured, I'm just, the black sheep, odd duckling, so, Yeah,
Yeah.
I respect it. I respect half brother because it's he probably wanted to avoid those feelings and just stick with
Right.
what he knew, and his mom died.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think there's
I
any assholes,
you know, I
honestly.
and I mean, I would go with a n nobody said, like, no assholes.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, without more information, which I don't think we're necessarily entitled to as much as we all want it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a heavy situation. And
It is.
with grief and especially losing a parent, I mean,
Mhm.
everybody reacts differently to it. I mean, I
Yeah.
almost losing my dad last year is as close as I've gotten. But like I can relate too
Yeah.
because with my sister, I mean, he's not my biological father. So
Right.
there is some of that same feeling that of what Steve's talking about. Steve has stickers on his forehead.
Yeah, there's
Um,
going ham off camera.
100%.
Or yeah.
Oh,
But
I'm just skimming through some of these comments, and one of the
Yeah.
comments says, if anybody's the asshole, it would be mom because it seems she's worried she'll be embarrassed at the wedding when people ask why he's not there, thinking that people will blame
right,
her as the stepmother.
I
right,
mean, I'd be willing to give the mom the benefit of the doubt only because from my perspective, like I'm such a big family person. Family is like
Mhm.
super
yeah,
important to me. And
Yeah.
yeah,
so to think that someone in my family would not feel included and that would be at any point because they didn't think that I would welcome them, like I'd be so hurt by that that I'd be pushing hard for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I can see I can live in a world where the mom's coming from that angle. But I can
Mhm.
also see that it is fear of people, assuming the worst about her as well. I think the tough
right,
thing about this is if I were in the situation, I would extend the invite just because I would want him to know that like though we've never had a relationship, he's always
yeah,
welcome to. But I can
Mhm.
yeah,
also see how that might not be the best option either because that might not be respecting the half brother's wishes. Clearly, he hasn't reached
yeah,
out either. Like it's
Yep.
such
yeah.
a
But
delicate
you could still send a
situation.
letter. You
You know what I
know, I
mean?
would just send a letter
Yeah,
and say, "Hey, I would love to have you there if you're up for it. If you're not, that's cool. Like, we're
right.
thinking about you."
Mhm.
I mean, if they're open for that kind of a relationship with the half brother, which it sounded
Right.
like they were. Um,
Yeah.
but maybe I'm misreading into it. But
Right.
I mean, there are
Yeah.
ways of letting them know without crossing the boundary that the half brother set out. I think
Mhm.
you know that's tough. Oh,
Yeah, that's such a
that's
tough
really tough.
situation. And it honestly sounds like it's tough on everybody.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
dad had to make
it's
a tough choice as well because I'm sure he would have loved to have his son growing up there, but it
right.
sounded like the son also was firm in his decision after his mom's passing. And
Yeah.
sometimes like the child does know what's best for them. And I just
Right.
believe that firmly.
Well,
Sometimes depending
And
and
on
it's
their age
okay,
and what they've been through, they just know.
right?
yeah.
Well, and sometimes it can change, and
True.
hopefully the son is in a place where if his feelings change on it, he can come out and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I
Right.
was working through shit on my own that I had to work through." So,
I had
um,
I had similar reservations when my biological father passed away last summer. Um
mm,
I was the only one who cuz my so when I refer to my dad, I refer to my stepdad. He
mhm,
adopted me when I
right,
was 3. Just so side note.
yeah,
So when our
a lot of
dad
us are
died,
in that boat.
when our biological father called or died, um I was the only one who wasn't like there. I didn't have a
Mm.
relationship with him. My stepdad was in the Coast Guard, so we literally constantly moving. Like I've lived all up
Mhm.
and down the East Coast. Um, so I was never really like in a central part
And
of
yeah,
being able to have that kind of connection.
Right.
yeah,
My mom always had the door open. He just didn't want to walk through
yeah,
until
Which
I
is
was like
tough.
in my
yeah,
teens. So I was really debating what to do. Like
yeah,
I'm
Right.
like I so when, making funeral arrangements and stuff like that, I'm like, you guys do what you want to do. You
Yeah.
guys were there, you guys knew,
Yeah.
and
Which is a
it's
fair
fine.
response.
It's
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Right.
and then I was wondering how to go about going to the funeral
Yeah.
all together. And I was like, okay, my mindset going into it was I was just gonna be there to because I had never met any of my siblings before
Yeah.
until the funeral. I knew my older sister because our moms were, funnily enough, best friends. With yeah, that was
That's super
That's a
funny.
story.
so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
grew up knowing her like as my friend, and then I found out when I was like 10 that she was actually my sister. Um,
Wow.
so um
Wow.
so I went into it with the mindset of I'm going to meet them to support them
Right.
and hopefully get something out of like a relationship with them if they're open to it. And some of them
Mhm.
were and some of them weren't, but it's definitely really tricky, like
Mhm.
regardless, your feelings are valid. If you think it's the right thing to invite him to your wedding, go for it.
Yeah.
If you want to
Right.
give him space and wait till he reaches out, go for it.
Right.
Yeah, I think the important part to remember too is that this is her wedding.
Yeah.
Like, and so the bride and the groom's emotions about who should be there should always count for more, in my opinion, than
Right.
the extended families.
Right.
Because ultimately, like, it also might be a lot to ask her on her wedding day to have the half brother there who she doesn't have a connection with, and then she might feel forced to sort of build that on the moment when
Hmm.
the day is not supposed to be about that. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
that can be a lot too, which is again
And it's
totally
awkward.
valid if you're not willing to do that.
And it's
Right.
and it's awkward meeting like you share the same parent, but like you don't
Don't
but you don't
yeah,
know. Like it was
Yeah.
right.
so awkward being there with all of this like all of us kids. It was so awkward being there together for the first time. Like I
Yeah.
was so anxious. I'm like, "Dom, let's go back to Texas. I don't want to do this." And then I come around the
Yeah.
corner. They're all standing there and I was shaking so bad. It's not
Yeah.
fun. And that's like you don't need those kind of emotions and that stress on your wedding day.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a great story though.
It
Mhm.
was. It
I'm glad we
was.
got to talk on out. All
That's
right. So on a much less important to life note.
Sorry, I got a
um
little deep.
No, no,
no, we
and
love
it's good
that.
to have those conversations,
Ugh.
it's very good to have those conversations, and, like, that brought back a whole lot of real emotions for me,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but yeah, that was a good one. Was
Yeah, that was a really good one. All right. So this one,
You
like I
should
said,
pat yourself on the
is
back.
you should. It was a good one. This one is called Am I the Asshole for Not Going Vegan as My Wife Wanted? So again, way lower stakes here already. So I
But
apologize.
also interesting, I dig it.
Yeah, yeah. I apologize in advance for the text. I'm on my phone and it might not be the most pleasant text, which I don't know what they
Okay,
mean by that, but I guess like spacing. So whatever.
sure.
Um, I've been married for 12 years. My wife decided 4 years ago to become a vegetarian and exclude meat from her menu. 2 years ago, she decided to become vegan and has been ever since. She is vegan and I am not, which is fine. We each take care of our diets separately, and this has been
Is it
manageable so
though?
far.
Doesn't
We'll
sound
find
good.
out.
Sorry, sorry.
No, I love it. I also try my best to use products that are free of animal harm, which I think is like the more important. This is an aside from me. I
Mhm.
think that's the more important thing, like
Mhm.
using cruelty free products when you can.
Right.
However, a few nights ago, my wife told me she wanted me to also go vegan. Here's the thing. I don't want to go vegan. I have IBS, and every time I tried to change
Ooh,
to a plant based diet, I suffered with a lot of pain. I know some people swear by a plant based diet that a plant based diet can help with IBS, but that was not my case. It made things so much worse that I really don't want to go through that ordeal. I can change pretty much everything else. My diet isn't something I'm willing to change, however. I told her that and was even more than willing to change everything else. She, however, is very present in their cause. I think he means persistent. She's not happy that I decided to go not to go vegan, and I'm feeling like a sack of shit. I don't want my wife thinking I'm an asshole just because I don't want to be in pain. Regardless, am I the asshole?
Yeah.
No.
No, because for dietary reasons, you need to not go vegan. So
I don't
Mhm.
even think like, and this is just my opinion, but
I mean,
even if he didn't have IBS, if he just didn't want to go vegan,
yeah,
that's okay. I don't think
yeah,
we can like force our partners or anyone to have dietary preferences like different than our own. You know what I mean? Like I
right,
think that
yeah,
that's an
yeah,
asshole move.
yeah, um, yeah. Nah, leave him alone. Um,
Yeah, I went
yeah,
vegetarian for a while just to try it. It was
yeah,
Mhm.
and I told Dom, I was like, I'm gonna do this. Do you want to do it with me? You don't have to, whatever. So I would make like a general like vegetarian, like I made a lot of pasta. So
Yeah.
I would, always make something, like something with meat
yeah,
for them, because that's not something that I wanted, for Grayson, because he was like 2. So
right,
I was like, I would always make, for me, I was really big on like rice and beans and corn and stuff like that. Um, and like little burritos and stuff. So I would, make mine, and then like I'd make something extra for him, because you cook both at the same time. Like it's not like it
Yeah.
doesn't, you don't go too far out of your way to
Right.
to make accommodations.
Love it. Because read it. It fits. You just have to read it.
Deadpool.
I can't.
Oh my god.
Oh, it says, though he doesn't share their viewpoint, Captain America is considerate of the feelings of his vegetarian friends. Deadpool bounds up vegetarians and force feeds them meatloaf.
That's funny.
So that's why there's a
Um,
comic on the screen.
yeah,
I forgot that you're on your phone. So,
yeah, no worries. Um,
but no, like
yeah, no, but that's reasonable, Sushi, that you were
Mhm.
like, you can, you don't have to. I'm gonna cook
right,
stuff and then
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's such
yeah,
a reasonable response, but to like demand that somebody go vegan just because you are, and especially vegan, like vegetarian, I could understand more of,
Mhm.
right,
just because you're only asking someone to restrict meat from their diet, which would still be hard for me because I'm a bitch that loves bacon. Like I
yeah.
could not give that up.
Same.
Steak, man,
Like I can give up chicken, I can give
bacon.
up steak, like I can give up all of that, but I cannot give up bacon. Um, but then like asking someone to be vegan, which is giving up all dairy, which y'all also know, I'm a bitch that loves cheese. Uh,
Absolutely.
so that's like an instant no-go. Plus, like I love baking, and baking is always like milk and
Mhm.
eggs and things like that, like
Hmm.
heavy on the dairy products as well. And so I'm not gonna like not enjoy my life. I'm sorry. I'll
Yeah.
try and consume more ethically for sure, but I'm
Right.
not gonna cut
Yeah.
out stuff that brings me legitimate joy in a world that is so fucking joyless 98% of the
Yeah.
time.
Preach.
1000%.
Right?
1000%. Yeah. Bacon bitches unite. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Um,
As it should be.
and cheese bitches.
New merch.
Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Bacon
Bacon
new.
bitches,
bitches.
bacon bitches unite.
Yeah. Yay!
That should be merch. Put it on
I
the
have no idea if
list.
you're still here, but yeah, we'll put it on the list. Um, just don't make it a cute pig, please, because that just will break my heart.
Right.
Although
Ah,
I
too
have
funny.
like distant family that live up in Canada, and they bought pigs to raise, breed, raise,
Oh,
whatever.
cute.
But they named them breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Mm-hmm.
bacon, and
Wow, they got
pork
a lot of
chop.
pigs.
Or so, yeah, I mean, but they like the purpose was to be able to breed them and then eat them at some point. But those were the initial ones were bake or breakfast, lunch, and dinner, pork chop, and bacon.
I
So
love it.
funny. My
Amazing.
parents my parents used to have chickens at their old house, and they named them after types of beer. They had
That's awesome.
barley, hops. My dad's a brewmaster.
I love
Oh,
it.
that checks
So
out.
yeah. Shout out that damn Mary Brewing in Gloucester. Sorry.
I once asked
Ah,
one of the parents of one of Like one of my players that I've coached for a couple of years, they have chickens, and so I was talking with the dad because unfortunately one of them had passed. And so like I also have aunts that have chickens, and whenever they pass, they like make a joke that they sent them away to camp, and the camp is like their freezer, so they can then eat it because you eat animals, like that's just what happens.
Right.
So I asked them, I was like, oh, so like what did you make with it? And he was so offended. He was like, they're like family to us. We would never. We had a proper burial. And I was like, I didn't know that it was a line that I could cross, but I jumped straight over it, asking him if he
Yeah.
ate his like dead pet, essentially, which was just awful. I felt horrible.
One of
But
my
yeah, apparently
favorite.
everyone does not view like
Yeah.
livestock the same way I do. Fun
Yeah.
fact.
I mean, and it like there would definitely be tough things for me, but especially like at the end of the day, you know, that's the most for lack of better wording, full circle thing you can do, I think.
Yeah.
Give them a good long life. As long as there's nothing that happens that will harm you, why not?
Okay.
I would not eat my dogs.
I would not.
But
That's a
beside
bridge too far. But
well, there's I don't think you've gotten to this point, but there's a scene in Supernatural where they're eating lizards.
I
And
have not
Sam's
seen
like,
that
just
yet.
tell me it tastes like chicken. And Jensen's like, no, dumbass, it tastes like lizard. It's lizard. Or something along those lines.
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
that's yeah, oh yeah.
Funny.
And my grandpa had chickens for the longest time
Mhm.
that they would eat. I mean, what I used to call the shed, I now know is the chicken coop. It has motorcycles and metal shit in it. I had something else I was gonna say before and I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
That's about right.
No.
Yeah.
100%. But that's like saying like alligator tastes like chicken. It doesn't really. Like I've had alligator though. But it's so
I've
much
not.
chewier, and for me, like food is more or just as much about the
Ooh.
texture than it is about the taste.
I'm a person
Oh,
who texture will fuck me up. If I'm in the
oh
middle of
yeah,
eating something and the texture rubs me the wrong way, I'm done.
done.
I
Like you get
can't.
the tendony parts of chicken and shit, I'm done.
Mm-mm.
Ugh,
I'm done.
no, thank you. Like
Mm-mm.
peace out. Even if it's
Yep.
like my first bite of food, I'm done.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll go make myself something else.
Yeah.
Uh
It totally throws me off.
yeah. But chicken is something that like I mean, used to be that everybody had chicken. So I think that that's probably where that chicken tastes like chicken. Yeah.
Chicken does taste like
Um
chicken.
yeah, it's oh, it was about a TikTok. Oh,
Let's do
there's
a
a
TikTok.
TikTok that I really like, and it's these people have a pet turkey for whatever reason, big ass turkey, and they're cooking a turkey for Thanksgiving. And they're like,
That's
"Don't
fucked
worry,
up.
Tom, you didn't know him." And like that's the like sense of humor that I have, right? Like
Mhm.
because the turkey's literally looking at the oven baking the turkey.
Yeah.
And so, don't worry, Tom didn't know that one. And it
That's
makes
funny.
it's fucked up, just the right amount of fucked up.
That is the right amount of fucked up.
Uh,
I like though.
anyway, all right, I have one more
Okay.
at least, but
Oh
so
yeah, I put up
this
like
is
18.
I did too,
Just in
but I now
case.
just have a folder on my browser that I'm putting stuff into.
Yeah.
I don't think, as far as I know, because now it's become a recurrent thing, and they share videos every so often with Tom, but it could be a different Tom. Who knows?
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to read the title of this one
Okay.
because I've read the
Curious.
first sentence and I've read the last sentence, and it goes places. So,
Ooh.
I, 30
Spicy.
male, have a beautiful wife who loves to serve others. Not like that, Dave. We I'm down the street.
Oh my god. I regret my last appearance on LTN Media. Thanks for having me. It's been great.
Peace out. I don't blame you. And I made the
You gotta
joke.
be here tomorrow, kid.
That's true.
Yeah.
More
The
chaos.
lowly intern to do the bidding. It's fine.
We bought a home down the street from my family. I have a sweet sister, 17, who likes to crash at our house with her friends. My wife is normally pretty easygoing until recently. My sister's friends have been leaving messes, mostly towels on the floor after using our pool. My wife
I
got
saw
upset
this
That's
one.
disrespectful.
I saw this
picking
one.
them up. But I heard a sad panda sound somewhere. Dave's face is
There.
confusion.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so she got upset picking them up after them every day. I've asked my sister to make sure the house is clean after they leave, and it has been better. My wife has also complained about some of her perfume and clothes. Personal items have gone missing. My sister said it's not her. I believe my sister. I just don't see her doing that. I told my wife, and we agreed to just replace them. Last week, my wife made a couple of pans of cinnamon rolls from scratch, which sound amazing.
God, I want that, yeah.
Ooh, I'm hungry.
Right? One pan was for us, one pan was for a coworker's family who is experiencing a tragedy. My wife went to the gym, I went to work, and my sister and her friends had come by. One pan wasn't enough for her and her friends. They wanted the second pan of cinnamon rolls, and my sister texted my wife asking if they could eat them. My wife said no. They ate them anyways. My wife, upset, went and bought new locks. When I came home, my wife handed me a new key and told me that she didn't want anyone else to have a key to our house. I tried to calm her down and tell her that I would just go and replace the eaten cinnamon rolls with store-bought ones.
That's
My
not the
wife,
same.
no,
Not the
it's not
same.
the same. 100% not the same.
Vouch. Not the
Um,
same.
Not the same.
uh, uh, my wife decided that this was her hill to die on and said no. My sister lost the privilege to come when we are not home. Replacing stolen items wasn't good enough anymore.
Yeah.
My mom called and asked if my sister could use the pool as a back to school party, question mark. I was under the impression my mom would be there. So I said yes. My mom was at work and our schedules clashed. But again, he didn't know his mom wasn't there. The easiest solution was for me to change the locks back so they could come into the house. My mom did not come with my sister. When my wife got home after the party, it was a mess. She sent me photos. She called me the asshole for changing the locks without her talking to her about it. Keep in mind, she did too. So she did initially change the locks without talking to him. Then told me I broke her trust. She wasn't safe in her own home because she keeps getting robbed, and I refused to put an end to it. But I did talk to my sister. I then let my wife know that she was then my wife let me know she was going to stay with a friend for a while. There are some updates, so don't wait
Ooh,
until you
updates.
hear all
Okay.
of it, okay? Am I the asshole
Okay.
here? I feel like I've tried to right any wrongs that have happened between my wife and my sister. Update, hold on. There's some shit that happened. So,
Oh man, there's more. Okay.
yeah, it's
All
very
right,
interesting.
boys.
And remember, this is a 17-year-old. So I not to make excuses, but I do get life is, the pool is more important than anything else.
Yep.
Um, so it says
Yeah.
update. Sorry, I haven't been able to reply for the last couple hours. I've been busy. I talked to my mom again. I know he fucked up there. Not wrong. Um, let her know that my sister isn't allowed over without me home. I asked a friend's wife who's a maid to come and deep clean our home. So if/when my wife comes home, it's clean and he is paid. Um, the last thing is my mom asked me to help cover my sister's cheer. She's on track for a scholarship. I told my mom of I would pay half if my wife's things were returned. If not, the money was going to replace the stolen item. My sister
That's
was invited
fair.
to homecoming. She wanted me to buy her a dress. I told her no for not following our home rules, and the money I saved for the
Spoiled.
dress is going to pay for the maid. I did replace the locks again. I'm also planning a romantic dinner. I will make and clean up. I heard a lot about the cinnamon rolls. Someone on here gave me the
Yeah.
idea to make them, so I'm going to for a dessert. Update again. My sister and my mom left a few minutes ago. My sister had a bag of my wife's things, more than I thought were gone. Most items are in poor shape. The big thing is she said, is she had my wife's grandmother's ring that I thought was in the safe.
Oh
I had
my
no idea it was
God.
gone. My sister said
Wow.
that she found it on my wife's nightstand during the party. I did not read this paragraph. She forgot she had it when she left. She had it on when she left our home. The ring isn't
Convenient.
Wise.
valuable, it's just sentimental. I told my mom who the ring belonged to. My mom lost it, and now my sister is grounded.
As she should
Last
be.
update tonight, yeah. My wife is coming home. I am staying at a friend's house until we can work this out. I've already stated it, but I did put the locks back on, the new locks on that my wife bought. My family doesn't have that key.
Jesus Christ.
Early morning update.
There's more?
Oh wait,
There's
there's
more.
Jesus
more.
Listen.
Christ.
Oh my God.
Yes, Bear, but wait. Early morning update. My mom called my wife last night and asked what my sister can do to fix or replace the damaged items.
Nothing.
My wife said, have her meet me every morning at 5 a.m. I decided to tag along and see what my wife had planned, trying to support her in whatever punishment she had decided to do. You know the cinnamon rolls? My wife, coworker's 4-year-old, is in the final stages of cancer.
Oh.
My wife's plan is for my sister and her to prepare breakfast, get their other kids up and ready for the day, start laundry, basic cleanup, so her coworker and his wife can spend as much time um, as possible with their sick kid before work.
Oh
My
wow.
sister was silent the whole time coming back home. I can already tell that it really has hit her that her life isn't that hard, even if it includes being grounded.
Wow.
So I had read the
That was such a roller coaster, bro.
That was a fucking
punishment,
roller coaster. Yeah.
right?
Whew.
And that's kind of why I wanted to pick this one, because I think that that's the biggest sediment of this story is
Yeah.
17 years old, you
Mhm.
think you're the shit, and if you don't get your
Yep.
way, life sucks, whatever. And I really admire his wife for coming up with something that will, as much as I'm sure she wanted to physically slap the shit out of her, but emotionally slap the shit out of her.
Mhm.
Wow.
And I think that this 17-year-old is going to be better for it in the end of the day. I also love, like, he owned up to the, I fucked up, like, I'm gonna make dinner, clean up the mess,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make her cinnamon
Mhm.
rolls, yeah, emotional
Emotional
damage.
damage.
Um,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
and
Yeah, I started out on a very different side, and then the
Yeah.
updates kept coming, and I was like,
just wait.
"Oh,
But like,
geez."
it is a roller coaster, and I think that that's like having. I mean, my son will be 14 in a couple of months. Like, he 94% of the time is an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm not crying. You're crying, Rick.
Oh.
No, but like I just that, like, realization of life doesn't suck as bad as you fucking think it does,
Yep.
Yeah.
and you can tell, like, it's not going to be. It wasn't a one-day thing. It's meet me here at 5 a.m. every day, probably until the
Yeah.
wife determines sis is done with it.
Mhm.
So right, 100%,
Yeah,
Chris.
it's
Yeah.
definitely
A
Chris.
hundred
I
percent.
mean,
And I think that this was the best way to really deal with it, because giving
right.
the items back or paying for it or losing a dress, like, those things don't matter as much as, because like that sister would not have learned the lesson
Right.
Yep.
if not to realize, oh fuck, like, people go through some really heavy shit, you
Right.
know.
Mhm.
Um,
Well,
but
I was
yeah.
like
Oh, thanks. Yes.
I was like, "Okay, something else is playing."
Yeah. There's an
Can anyone
ad or
else hear
something.
that?
You can't pause it. Probably because it's an ad for the sound,
I'm pretty sure
I'm
you could
assuming.
somehow
Can
turn
you
the
close
sound
the
off,
browser?
right? Yeah, there we
There we go.
go.
That was
Again, we're
funny.
professionals here.
100%.
I was like,
Mood
there's obviously
killer.
a lot going on here that we don't have answers to because I was like, why is he going to pay for her cheer and her homecoming dress
Right.
and all this shit? Like, that's a lot there. Um, and so,
Right.
like, clearly there is something, and that's why the daughter was doing what she was doing. But my original question was like, how are you going to go someplace like you have access to this pool and you're going to steal from them, knowing
Yeah.
that that's going to get you kicked out? And
Yeah.
you're gonna come
Yeah.
back like they are kind enough to let you back into their home after you've already been told to fuck off, and you're gonna
Right.
steal even more shit. Like
Yeah.
that is such a
And
stupid thing to do. Like
you know what
That's
though?
like
Like
it's
I
like
remember
biting the
being
hand that
16.
feeds you.
yeah.
But I remember being 16 years old and taking my mom's ring to wear, like doing my behind the wheel
Oh
because I thought
yeah.
I was hot shit. You know what I mean? So like I
Can't
remember,
tell
I
and
me
know
thank
that
nothing.
part.
God I never lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
I was
um,
um
Okay.
but yeah, but yeah, Bear, you're absolutely right. It's not a fully developed one. And I think
it's
that this
not.
17-year-old is going to be better for learning this lesson
Mm-hmm.
now. Um, but yeah, that one, that's heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it.
That's heavy.
It was a ride though,
Yeah.
was I
I'm just
told
glad,
y'all.
first of all, that the mom finally came around to realize that the daughter
Mm-hmm.
was, the amount that she stole
Yeah,
was a lot. And like again, it's not the value
yeah,
in monetary terms, it's the sentimental value, which is can be a
yeah,
lot. And uh, I mean, I'm super glad that the husband realized that, like, yeah, he did kind of absolutely
yeah,
break his wife's
100%,
trust, and then he needed
100%.
to do something to get it back. So
Uh,
that was really good to see. This is
and
one
it
of those
sounds
like
like
it's
they're
really
working.
satisfying because if we
Right,
just read part one, absolutely you're the asshole. Through the updates,
right.
not the asshole. Glad you got your shit together.
No printers. Thanks for the 100 more booties. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah,
Or
thanks,
Lauren.
Rick.
It feels weird to call you Rick. I'm gonna call you Lauren.
Pickle
As
Rick.
long but yeah,
That was a
it was a
roller
ride,
coaster.
right?
Woof.
Yeah,
I love that song, by the way.
I do too. I love Garth Brooks. All right, Sushi, what's yours?
All right. I have one more.
Okay.
Um, am I the asshole for crying to my husband?
I had this one saved.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
My 18-year-old son Eric has just graduated from high school. I'm very proud of him because he has ADHD and school has always been a struggle for him, but he's going to college and his future is promising. Good job, Eric. I was out
Yeah.
with my two girlfriends and both have children the same age as Eric. Well, I excused myself to the washroom, and right before I was about to go back into the room, I overheard one of them say that I must be so disappointed in Eric. Disappointed because he's not studying law or medicine, etc., like their kids. This got my attention, so I kept listening. They continued to talk about how he barely graduated, and then they made a few odd jokes about how Eric's probably going to follow in my footsteps and marry a rich older lady. They talked about my son's reputation and laughed about how he clearly cares more about his face than his future, just like his mother. This hurt me a lot. I was heartbroken. Not only were they insulting me, but my son as well. I walked into the room and they went silent, but acted as if they weren't just shit talking. I didn't mention it and simply decided to never hang out with them ever again. But when I got home, my husband asked me if anything was wrong, and I just began to cry and told him everything. I've been friends with them for a year, and gosh, I don't even know. He was really angry. He had invited them and their families to go on a quick 2-day trip, and he called their husbands and canceled. When they asked why, he told them that there was no way in hell he was paying to take two bitter mean girls that insult his wife and son on vacation. We stan. Well, I got a call.
Absolutely.
I got a call from the two, and they were really upset. They said that I need to tell him to rethink his decision and that they were just joking around because their kids were really looking forward to the trip. I told them that I didn't want to, but they said that I should have talked to them instead of crying to my husband like a weak ass bitch. I told them to.
Excuse me?
No, she didn't.
It gets worse.
Me at him. Okay.
I told
Okay.
them
All right.
I told them to fuck off, and they replied with, "This is exactly why we hate you." Wait, sorry, are you gonna go cry to your husband again?
If I want to, bitch, I will.
Right? Yeah,
Get
he's
out
my
of
fucking
here.
husband, and he's rich as fuck, and you don't get to freeload off him anymore. Fuck
Yep.
off.
That stung a
Oh,
little, and now I'm wondering, am I the asshole for not being straight up and crying to my husband instead? The two think I am, and my sister
No.
agrees that I should have dealt with it myself, and I went too far telling my husband.
Okay,
yeah.
so here's the
Like,
thing. Like, you didn't give her any time. You know what I mean? Like, the thing happened. There's no good way to handle that in the moment. Like, could she have
Yep.
come in there and been like, "I heard what you're saying"? Maybe, but like that was also an event. Like, you know what I mean? So she went home. Her husband was like, "I can tell you're upset. Talk to me about it." Which is,
yeah,
by the way,
yeah,
what you fucking do with your
right.
significant other.
Yep.
And then he, of course, did make the right decision, in my opinion, to cancel the trip because hell no, am I having people who are talking bad about my wife like coming and mooching off of me for a
Right,
free
yeah,
fucking
me
thing.
paying for their fucking trip
Absolutely
with them
not.
and their kids? Fuck that.
Fuck out of here.
Oh, there's an
And
edit,
then
and
like,
it's really sad.
Oh
oh no,
god.
So
what's
the
the edit?
edit. The edit. I'm a bit overwhelmed by how many comments this post has gotten, but I wanted to thank you all. Also, a lot of people are saying that there's no way I seriously think I'm an asshole, but my sister telling me that I acted weakly made me doubtful. I mean, it's my sister. I tell her everything. A lot of my previous friends also
Oh, that's so
used to
stupid.
say similar things about me regarding my husband, so after a while, you start to wonder if you're the problem. Also, some people think that this is fake because of the words I used or how it was written. My daughter actually helped me write this out. She's 20, so she's pretty young. And I was a bit out of it because this happened recently, so there's that.
Oh, just because she said
Oh
we stan?
god.
Nah.
Oh, I added those.
No, yeah, Sushi
Oh, I thought
added
she
that.
did. I was like, I would have written that
No,
in there too, though. Shit.
But
yeah,
I totally get like her insecurity about like wondering if you're the problem because
Yeah.
I've had a couple friendships like fall flat this year. Um, and then last year as well. So it was kind of just like I'm the common denominator. Is it me?
yeah.
Am I
Am I
the drama?
drunk?
Am I
Yeah,
the drama? I don't
no,
think I'm
you're
the drama.
not. Fuck them.
So, yeah, so I totally as somebody who has this mindset, I just want to hug her
Yes,
and tell her
that's what
that
I'm
it's
saying.
Yeah.
not
Bestie
her.
needs to come join our crew. Like, first of
Yes,
all,
let's
Right?
go, bestie.
First of
like,
all, we
let's
don't do that
fucking
here.
fuck that shit up outside the
Oh
Arby's
my
at 3
god.
a.m. the night
For
before
Yeah.
real.
trash day, right by the dumpster, so we can
Right
throw
behind the
them in when we're
dumpster.
done with them where they belong.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all,
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Bestie, come
queen.
have some wine with us.
There you
Like,
go.
And we love a supportive
100%,
husband.
Rick.
We
We
love a
love
We
a
supportive
supportive
do.
husband. Love one. And for
Absolutely.
him to say,
Mhm.
nah, fuck that shit, I'm not paying for you and your snot-nosed little kids.
Good
Fuck
for
you.
him.
Their
Right.
Good
hands
for
are
him.
always sticky anyway. I don't like it.
And I'm sorry,
So,
you're never too old to
Your
teach somebody else a
tablets look
lesson.
your tablets look crusty.
you and your crusty tablets. Fuck off.
I never truly understood that until
Oh
Grayson.
god.
And now
Yeah.
I'm just like constantly like, oh my god, get off, get off, get off.
Right? That's why I was so thankful when I got like a second like a full size
Mhm.
iPad and I gave my mini to my kid and I was like, do not touch me. And then the kitten
Yeah.
cracked I have a first generation iPad and the kitten fucking cracked my
Wow.
screen.
Jeez.
She's
No,
4 pounds. How does that happen? Anyway,
that's
random tangent.
funny.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel
But
so
yeah, this
awful for
chick
her
does
that she,
not and
yeah.
fuck her sister too, man. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
absolutely fuck her sister too.
And not
Come
in
to
a
I'm
us,
fun
sorry,
way.
it's
bestie.
not weakness to
We're
go
your
talk to your
tribe.
husband about it
No,
at
that's who you
all.
should talk to because, like,
Mhm.
okay, so even if the husband didn't get involved, which I think he 100% had every right to get involved in this
Yeah,
case, but
Absolutely.
facts.
going home and talking to your spouse or significant other, whatever, is the best way to process information and figure out what your next
Yeah.
step is going to be. Do I drop them? Do
Yeah.
I tell them to go fuck themselves with a rusty spoon? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you should, by the way. But you want to like talk that through with somebody that you trust and that loves you for who
Yeah.
you are. Yes,
Exactly.
thank you, Rick.
And your husband or your spouse
A
will
banana made a really
be
weird
one
noise
of the
there.
ones that are like real with you the most cuz I would be one weak ass bitch because
Yeah.
of how
Oh
many
God,
times
yeah.
I talk to Dom about just the minor things in my life, like
Oh
one
fuck yeah.
small minor inconvenience away from a total breakdown
Yeah.
or,
But That's
Literally.
who you're
my
supposed to
trauma
be
is triggered.
vulnerable with.
So
Yeah.
I'm always like, okay, I know you're my husband. Do not tell me what I want to hear.
Yeah.
But am I
Right.
Am I the
XYZ?
issue? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he'll be like, I mean, maybe a little bit, or no,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
not, or
Right.
Yeah.
but
And that's
you have to have that kind of
I mean, get you a man's that can be honest with you when you are the one
Yeah.
that,
for real, for real.
is being or contributing to the issue, but oh, we love you, Lauren.
Well, and I also think
That
they're
came out
overlooking
way
that not
pushier than
only
I
were they
meant. I'm
shit
sorry.
talking her, but they were
Yeah.
shit talking their kid too.
And
Yeah.
it's
You know what I
so
mean?
hard
Like,
Another
going through
husband.
school
Like,
with ADHD. It's
yeah,
yeah.
which
so
is
hard to do
fucking
that.
hard.
Right.
Oh,
I went
like
when
I'll
I
fight
was
a
in
bitch, man.
when I was in school, I had it or I had it. That's a phrase.
Yeah, it works.
Um
Yeah. You had it.
I had it ADHD tendencies, but with classroom modifications, they didn't pursue a diagnosis or medications or anything
Mm.
like that. Um but then,
Yeah,
I guess I got lost in the systems, but because I
yeah,
never
which happened a lot when we
it
were
didn't
Yeah.
younger.
keep like I didn't keep getting my
IEPs.
accommodations, so I
Mm.
Yeah,
did so bad in school. Now being in college and being in therapy, I know that's how my brain works, and I'm
right.
Yeah.
able
But
to take my coping and stuff like that so that I can, mold myself to figure out, what works for me. But it's so like growing up in
so
school,
hard.
having stuff like that,
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
wish that shit
yeah.
on anybody. That's
It
rough.
No.
it is. It is. And like that's like me talking about my Adderall earlier. Like I didn't even get put on Ritalin until after college.
Yeah.
So to look back and go, "Oh, fuck, like I would have had a way better GPA, but I would have
Same.
Mhm.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
100%. Meet me outside the Arby's. I've got that rusty
Yeah.
spoon waiting for you.
Yeah. I
Normally,
mean,
I
I can
only are let out for
understand
certain people.
there's definitely certain situations where it's like, no, like if they were, they're talking through their feelings too and you overheard it, that's different.
Yeah.
It's all depending on context. The context of what they were saying about his wife was fucked up. And the
Yep.
Yeah,
context of what they were saying about
yeah.
their kid was fucked up.
Fucked up.
Guess what?
Yep.
Or you should be more disappointed in your kid because they're gonna fucking drink away that scholarship to Yale or whatever.
Right.
Yep.
That's fair, Chris. But at the Arby's, like, there's so many fingerprints around, you can get away with a little faster. Don't ask me how I know that.
And like not everybody's built
For
for
legal
college
reasons, use
either.
their own guns.
No.
Right.
Like not
Yeah.
everybody can handle like a doctor, like a
Yeah.
PhD, or
Right.
I'm about to be very much struggling for just my masters, but like
Yeah.
or
No,
my
but going
bachelor's.
to get your master's is fucking huge. Like,
Yeah. It's yeah.
Look, my
I don't
brother
know.
didn't go to college, or I should say didn't complete college, and he's making more than me right now. Not that money is
that's
like the indicator of anything,
right.
For
but
sure.
he is in a more like successful, stable place, and he was in a more successful and stable place in terms of like being able to afford the lifestyle that he wants to. You know what I
Good
mean?
Right.
for him.
He was
Yeah.
able to do that without college
Yeah.
because
And
college
some people
wasn't for
can.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
School
mean, and
wasn't
it's
for
like
him.
I always like with Matt being on the autism spectrum, when he was younger, before he started to be able to understand that his brain works different and start to
Hmm.
learn the coping mechanisms, I would
Yep.
tell him, I'd be like, dude, your brain works different. It's not better. It's not worse than any of your friends. It's just
Yep.
different. And then I'd go, but secretly, it's usually a little bit better because you
Yeah.
can think outside the box and understand
Mhm.
things in such a way that other people don't because
Yep.
they stay within this cage almost of how their brain functions and yours is outside of that cage. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, it's just fuck it, fuck all of oh,
Yeah. Absolutely.
if I don't want to like rage scream at show. So also I'm playing with my squishy banana and it made a really weird sloshing noise and I want to apologize if anybody heard it because it was very strange. It's
Oh
my
man,
banana. But no, that's a good one. Like it
that was such a good
and I
one.
remember now hearing one of the narrators earlier I was listening to when we were waiting for the fridge to get delivered, and it was that story, and I was playing
Mm.
Minecraft, and I think I threw a skeleton into the lava, pretending it was that
Yeah.
lady. So,
So valid. Like, say
right,
what you want
Yeah.
about me, but Don't
Yeah,
bring my
don't bring my
kid.
fucking kid into it.
Don't
I'm fucking
Yeah.
more proud of my kid for all the shit he goes through than anything, you know?
Yeah.
exactly.
Whether he's on the spectrum or not, fuck that.
Mhm.
School's hard. Like,
And
School's
we
it's not
tough.
put
for
way
like
heavy expectations on kids now.
society puts such an emphasis on college,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but you know,
And
trade schools. Me and
yeah,
Dom are always like our philosophy, or I guess our idea for Grayson is you can do college, trade school.
yeah, learn
Yes,
a skill, whatever.
college or trade skill. Yes, that's what I said. Or you can join the military. We don't care what you do,
Yeah, an
but you
apprentice.
have
Right.
to
Yeah,
do but you have to
yeah,
do something.
yeah. Do
Right.
something with your life. Like, yeah, I don't want you living on my couch at 50,
Yep.
without attempting 50. I said, shut your face to Dave.
To be fair, he didn't say anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But like I
Just
went to
funny.
a trade school, you know.
Mhm.
No, he was doing that to get the reaction out of me 100%.
Yeah.
But like it just do something. Like I've said the
Yep.
Right.
same thing to Matt. It doesn't have to be a 4-year university and it doesn't have to be, right away. You can take time
Yep.
off. His dad didn't graduate from college until after we were separated. Like
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, my
it just
dad never
yeah.
went to college, but he got in with the post office and
Yeah.
worked there for years and
Yeah.
years and years until he retired. And I mean, he was able to do a lot with that salary.
Mhm.
Again, having never gone to college, he never went to
Yeah.
trade school.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just got
But do
in.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, he got
I
in
mean,
somewhere
and that's a
good
career where
and stayed.
you can expand and you learn on the
Oh
job
yeah.
and that, I mean,
Mhm.
that's like an
Yeah.
apprenticeship or
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh yeah, and he
But yeah,
bounced
just
around
learn.
inside of there
Yeah.
as well, like
Yeah.
in the jobs he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that we definitely place too much of emphasis on school in general. Like, so me and
Mhm.
all of my brothers, of which there are two, we all have ADD or ADHD. My
Yes.
parents both have it, though they've never been formally diagnosed. But they're like, huh, so that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Like
get
100%.
when they
I
were
get
getting
Oh,
like our diagnoses.
I
yeah.
get my diagnoses from my TikTok for you page because I'm just
100%.
like, oh,
100%.
that's
Yeah.
a thing.
It's
But like we
usually
all
more
had it.
reliable than WebMD. So,
Honestly, though.
Yeah. But my parents had like
uh,
different expectations for me versus for my brothers because our ADD's
they're
styles
different.
present differently. And
100%.
I excelled in school, but I just didn't put the effort in. So like they were always borderline disappointed because I would be like, I wouldn't do any of my homework, still walk out of class with a B, and they're like, but imagine what you could
Right.
do if you like actually applied yourself.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
God,
but
my
here's the
parents are the
thing,
same way.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
My
don't see
parents
any
are the
need in
same
it.
way.
I think it's a waste of my time. If I'm
Yep.
doing well enough in the class, I don't need homework to prove that I'm doing
Yep.
well enough in the class.
Exactly. I
Yep.
just
And it
had
was
this
always this
conversation with
huge
Dave.
battle.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
like,
Dave is like that too.
yeah.
I
So
I
they've
was
come
saying,
around a lot on it because
Yeah.
we've had this battle for, 30 years now.
Mhm.
Good
They've
old
come around a
daddy.
lot on it as we've gotten older. They're now
Yeah.
like, yeah, we totally get where you were coming from when you were saying all that. And I was like, but it would have been nice if you had gotten that when I was like actually in school and
Right.
needed that
yeah,
support instead
exactly.
of
Right.
like the like
Exactly.
low key judgment that I was getting.
Yeah.
And again, I love my
100%.
parents and I think that they were doing it because of like well-intentioned
Right. Yeah. They were
traditional
doing the best
values
that
that
they
they
could.
had. So I
Yeah.
don't fault them for that, but
Right.
I do
But
expect them to know better now. For like when
right.
Mhm.
me or any of my brothers have kids, I don't
Right.
expect them to put that same pressure on them.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
I used to come, if I got a C in a class, my dad would be like, well, why wasn't it a B? Well,
Yeah.
then next semester I'd come home with a B. Well, why wasn't it an A?
Yeah.
Come home with an A. Why isn't it an A plus? Like
'Cause I
Makes
don't
no
give a
nothing was
sense.
good
shit.
enough. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't want to try. Like I don't need to. I understand the material and I can pass my
Mhm.
test. And little did I know I had a sleeping disorder and ADHD
Yeah.
and,
Mhm.
pain every day of my life that I was dealing with. But
Yep.
it's just like I didn't want to. And,
Yep.
my mom and I have had the conversations more than my dad and I have now, but like she'd always say, "Well, dad would talk to you and then he'd come up and say, "I know she's capable of better. I know she can
Yeah.
do better."
Mhm.
Well, yeah, but put me in an anatomy class and I can fucking rock that shit, because that's
Right.
what I'm interested in, you
Yep.
know? So it's about working within what interests you. I mean, my kid can tell you every fucking uh evolution of every Pokemon out there,
Mhm.
or stats of wrestlers that died before he was ever even a thought in my brain. But is he good at math? Not so much. Like,
Mhm.
Right.
I
Yeah.
just had to write a paper on this for my liberal arts class. That there's such an emphasis on STEM education
yeah,
Right.
that people tend to forget that, like the social sciences and it all matters. Because we
Mhm.
can't move forward if we're isolating just STEM.
right.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
There
those that because math and science, my always my worst subjects. I
Mhm.
could not. It was always a foreign language to me. And that's the reason like I almost didn't graduate because I did so bad in math.
yeah,
So, and for the kids like me that struggled like that but thrived in English and
Mhm.
theater and
yeah,
those kinds of classes, we feel like we're failures. But we're
yeah,
not failures. Society is just
yeah.
making us feel that way
Yep.
because they're diminishing or not putting like they're not holding it higher for what we
Right.
do excel at.
Well, and it's about
Yep.
working within what you are good at and
Mhm.
excel at.
Mhm.
Yep.
You could you I could still be like a CEO of a company and have the different capabilities because I have the like customer service and the
Mhm.
social aspect
Right.
more
Yeah.
down than I have the like bookkeeping aspect down, or
Yeah.
you know, uh one of the things I always got worked with on when I was in more of an office setting was like the words I used and like how I come across in emails and stuff, because I over shocking, I know, guys, ready for a shock. I over explain things, especially when it's like over explaining my train of thought. But I'm
Who
not
knew?
used to people understanding my train of
Right.
thought,
Mhm.
because nobody could follow my thought train because I went from A to Z to Q to, B. Well,
Mhm.
Yeah.
other people just go from A to B.
Mhm.
Well, no, my
Right.
fucking train goes all over the place first. Who wants, it's boring otherwise.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
We
I
s-
know.
we
I
start we
think
start we start telling a story, but then we have to provide background text, and then
Right.
we have to provide background for that, and then we forget what we're even talking about to begin with, and then we remember 2 days later. Oh, I got to tell you that thing.
Yeah. That's what I was, yeah.
I do that in therapy all the
Oh,
time, and
100%.
yeah.
I'm like Adrian, I'm so sorry. Like I'm just rambling, and she was like, no, it's okay. I'm just trying to see like how you're like where your train of thought's going. And
Right.
I'm like, bitch is derailing.
My
So here's the
ex-husband would get
thing. I
so
think
pissed off at
like
me though.
socially we've put a lot of faith in STEM
Mhm.
because we're a society that is so like eager
Yep.
for
Yeah.
advancement.
Yeah.
Advancement in science, advancement in technology, all of that. And so we're putting such a premium on STEM education. But I think what we've forgotten as well is that you cannot live a life without storytelling. And in
Mhm.
order
Yeah.
to storytell, you have to have English and history and
Yep.
all of those other subjects
Yep.
because there's no scientist in the world that goes home and just does more science. You know what I
Yep.
mean? They're going home and they're watching Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? We have to have enjoyment in
Totally.
life.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones is, I mean, the show ended miserably. Let's be real.
I
But
never watched it.
oh god,
Yeah, I
I
haven't
loved
watched it
it and
either.
the ending was super disappointing. But anyway, um things like that are a combination of the liberal arts in the sense that it's really great
Nature.
storytelling. It's somewhat of like history because it's an allegory for other historical events and things like that. Um, oh, we all three have to smile in
Piss
unison.
math.
That's suspicious. I don't know about that. Should I do my selfie face?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Oh, thank
bestie.
you.
Oh,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
they're super
Appreciate it.
disappointing is definitely putting it mildly. But
Yeah,
like I think that people
100%.
forget that in our pursuit of advancement that
Yeah.
we cannot advance without storytelling. And
Yep.
Well,
that's something
and
super important.
the like self-care aspect of it too, I think, is an important thing
Yes.
that gets forgotten so
Yeah.
much. Like, you can't push yourself constantly. And I'm somebody like I love learning. I love pushing
Mhm.
myself, but I also need time to just fuck around and do shit online, like hang out with my
Yeah.
friends on the internet. Like
Yep.
big fucking deal, you know?
And
Um
Right.
self-care is not just like I have come to this like I don't know, this idea that, it's self-care is so like it's just made to feel like self-care is a spa day. Self-care
yeah.
is,
Yeah.
all
And
this
it's
other
I
not.
crap.
have the same
Self-care,
Yeah.
listen,
Sushi, this is
listen.
why you're on our show as our first ever guest,
Listen.
Right.
because it's
I'm the
we're
first one?
yeah,
You're the
you're
first
our
ever
first ever
guest on the
guest.
Oh
Double
my
D show.
god!
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was thinking
this is
about that
why.
earlier. Oh, got
Can
me
we get
blushing. Oh
another
my god.
shout out for sushi?
Um,
'Cause she deserves
Absolutely.
that. She's
listen,
killing it
listen.
out here.
Sometimes self-care means sitting in your car for an extra 5 seconds just to drink your cup of coffee in
Oh my
absolute
god.
silence
Mhm.
or blasting your jams.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah,
Either one
Yeah.
is acceptable.
100%. Taking
yeah,
the
Either
long
one.
way home on your drive home from
Yes.
work
yes, yeah.
to do
Yes.
the same thing, because heaven forbid you pull in the driveway and the kid sees you, right?
Oh,
Like,
Mhm.
sometimes
absolutely.
you
The
just have to.
dog starts
Right.
barking.
Getting a coffee on your way home or drinking a beer, like
Yes.
having a glass of wine and a bubble bath, like
Yep.
Yeah.
whatever you need to just take that minute to
Mhm.
or smoke. Okay.
Turning off of
Uh
your phone so you don't get
oh okay.
notifications,
It took me a
Yeah.
second
you
to
know?
catch up. I caught up now, but yes, I agree with that too. Um, but yeah, right. Light a
Yeah.
can- right, lighting a candle before your special times. Yep.
Yeah, there's I'm
Yeah.
and that's a big thing that I've been learning in therapy is like there's so many different ways to
Mhm.
take to like think about your self-care. Like what do you like look inside yourself and be like, it's in my outro.
Yeah.
For streams,
Really?
it's in my outro. So my outro basically I say like, oh, hope you're like stay safe, healthy, stay hydrated, do self-care, something a little special for yourself
Yeah.
to make yourself feel closer to becoming your best and highest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because that's something that my yoga teacher from El Paso, that's how she would end our sessions and she would say, I wish you wholeness and health, peace and happiness. And then, so I've kind of like
Yeah.
adopted that into my routine.
Yeah.
Um and like meditation is so great, you guys. Like you can
Yeah.
literally like being full-time student, full-time mom, all that jazz. I have to get really creative with my self-care and sometimes self-care means you just space out while you're doing the dishes.
Yeah.
Just let
100%.
your mind go. Just let it go. Sometimes
Or crank
you just
music while you're cleaning,
yeah,
whatever you need to
crack open
do.
a window and just
Yeah. Oh
jam.
yeah.
Do
Yeah.
Yep.
it.
Self-care is also,
Dance
like,
Treat
around.
boundaries,
yourself
though,
best.
and
Yes.
holding them. That's the
Yes.
bigger thing, like, I can set a boundary, but
Yup.
if you ask me to hold it, I don't know about
Yup.
that, but that is
Right?
also
I
self-care, is being
Yup.
Yeah.
or I also like
Yes.
to think of things like
Oh,
future kindnesses.
Yup.
So, I take care of myself by giving myself a future kindness of
yeah.
things like I put an ice cream in the fridge that I or the freezer that I know I'm gonna want. That's a future kindness to myself.
I
And so,
Ooh.
love
like, that's a
that.
way
I'm
that
gonna
and it's
adopt
also because
that.
I have such a
Yes.
complicated relationship with food that, like, I don't wanna view food as, like, rewards, you know what I mean? Because that means
Yeah.
that it's
Yeah.
not I shouldn't be having this thing. It's like a special
Right.
treat.
Yeah.
No, no, no. It's a future kindness to myself. So, like,
I
that's
love
something too
that.
that's self-care. I think it's
That's so
like,
Yeah.
self-care
sweet.
is so much more than just a bubble bath and a spa day.
Exactly.
Right.
Um, and I
Right.
think we reduced it down to that because of the aesthetic
Right.
of, like, the
Mhm.
beauty of, like, lighting a candle and getting a book and a glass of wine in the tub. Um, but there's so many more ways to take care of
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
100%. I
boundaries.
love that. Calling it future kindness. I love that.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
do that. My therapist is
Yeah.
gonna love it on Monday when I'm like, this is a
Right?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Treat yourself, Chris. That
exactly.
is
100%. Like
self-care.
you have to do it. It is like there are the things that I do myself versus like paying for, dyeing my
Yep.
own
Right.
hair, lately cutting my own hair because I got fucking sick of it after my sister's wedding and I just
Mhm.
chopped it all off. I regret everything, but I knew that was going to happen. Um, but like it's just those little things because
Yeah.
like, and I look back now, and I've touched on this before, but being hashtag part-time parent and not having my son the majority of the time because of his IEP and wanting to keep him in the school district he was in and whatnot
Right.
has been probably the best thing for my mental health because I can come home from work and focus on myself, you know, or do things
Exactly.
that I enjoy doing. Whether it's playing Minecraft for 3 hours or watching Hamilton for the 785th time.
Queen!
Yes.
Yes.
Like whatever it is, it gives me time for myself because I was so exhausted and I wasn't a good mom. And
Yeah.
I'm an okay
Yeah.
mom 99% of the time. Like I don't pretend to be the best by any stretch of the imagination, but
Absolutely.
I'm doing everything I can do for myself and for my kid.
Right.
And
Yeah.
one of the biggest things my ex-husband had said when we were talking about separating and divorcing was
hmm
Matt deserves to see his parents be happy. And
Wow.
hmm
That's
I
deep.
then realized, and it took
100%.
me years after we separated to realize this, but how could we try to tell our kid how to have a happy, healthy relationship when
Yes.
we weren't in one?
You're not showcasing it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so, like, as much work as it's still been, and I'm still learning things that most people learn in their 20s, because I spent my 20s, I spent that 10 years with one man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hmm
and I didn't learn a lot of the things most people do. So I'm learning them in my 30s. I'm slightly behind. It's no big deal. I'm sure it's fine. It makes sense. But it just at the end of the day, like it's all about you have to take care of yourself to take care of other people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite sayings is that you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yep.
Yep.
100%.
hmm
100%.
Yeah.
And you can't expect other people to fill your cup if you don't
Mm-hmm.
fill your own cup. That
Yep.
was something I actually learned in our marriage counseling, like when we were premarital counseling. That was one thing. Like if your cup is empty,
Yeah.
you obviously
Mm-hmm.
can't fill your partner's cup. They can't fill yours. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
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 It's tough. And I think it's
Yeah,
like
me
our
too,
relationship
Chris.
with ourselves too. We have to make sure that when we're dealing with it, we're not showcasing it to other people. Because as women, like we all know that we're hard enough on ourselves as it is. Like hearing
Yeah.
my mom talk negatively about her body, I talk negatively about my body because
Yeah.
it's what was modeled around me. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, like, reminding
100%.
ourselves that sometimes we have to just put that shit on hold,
Yeah.
um, because it doesn't that negativity. I heard something the other day that was like, it was obviously on
Mhm.
TikTok because I spend way too much time on there.
Oh,
Mood.
always.
Someone was saying like, um, they used to joke around about being hot, like because they meant it as a joke, like, oh, ha ha ha, I'm so hot, but they thought that they
Yeah.
were ugly. And then one day they were just actually hot because like
Yeah.
pretending to have that confidence
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
gets
Fake,
you
That
that
fake
makes
it till you make
confidence.
it. Fake it
fake
till
it
you
till
make
you
it,
And
make
I
it.
think
besties.
like
100%.
that's 100% something that
100%.
I personally need to do more of,
Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
fake
Yeah.
it till I make it.
Well, and it's like, look at that picture of you in that red dress at the wedding at the Spy Museum you went to. You're
Oh yeah.
fucking gorgeous in that dress. So even
Oh,
if it's
thank
like
you.
posting that picture, and
hmm
I'm really bad about this too, but
Yeah.
posting like the pictures of like moments where you're like, damn, I looked my sister's wedding. I looked fucking hot. Okay, at 36
You
years old.
did.
I'm like my mid 30s. I look
Spicy.
damn good.
Yes,
Um,
you did.
but like reminding that because again, the more you see those pictures,
hmm
the more you
Mm-hmm.
go, oh, okay, even the little things about like doing my makeup before streams. Do I need to?
Yeah.
No. Are there
No.
plenty of times I'm on camera with no makeup on? Fuck right.
Yep.
But it makes me feel good,
Right.
and it's something that I do to make myself feel better.
And thus we're
I
Um,
coming
used
back
to,
to self-care.
yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
it
treat
all goes into
yourselves.
each other.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Um,
Well, I think we were going to read
yes,
some more Am I the Assholes, but I think that this was just such a great conversation that I think we need to end it
Absolutely.
here because, like,
100%.
this was perfection. Why
It
ruin
was.
perfection?
I'm glad I could
Yeah,
be here
this
for it.
was. And we do have our
Me too.
sensitivity training to get to, even though we've
We
been
do
all
have
up
our
in our
sensitivity
feels
Ugh,
training to
today.
get to. I
but
know.
Dad,
I know. Total vibe killer.
Right?
Hey, I
harshing
will
the
Now we
turn
have to
this
go back to
fucking
vibe.
just
stream
being
around.
funny.
No Disney.
But Dad, I'm already out here.
Come on, we
I'm
gotta
like,
go. But
I'm
I'm
like
in the
3 hours from
dumpster
Disneyland.
already.
I'm at the dumpster in Arby's. I wanted to
Right?
fight
Fight
my
that one
Party at 3
bitch.
a.m.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm like,
god.
jump out like a
That
ninja
woman,
bitch.
okay, first, if you're gonna talk shit on my kid and you're gonna let me hear it, I'm gonna let you hear it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But probably not for long, because shortly after you hear me, you will be unconscious, because I will
Yeah.
beat the
Right.
fuck out of you.
Why do
It's
you-
my baby girl
Mhm.
or my little boy.
Yeah.
Right.
And they are my children and they are precious to me. And
Yeah.
I ain't afraid to go back to prison, motherfucker.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
Ron
I've
White.
never
All
seen
right.
my parents more feral than when someone has insulted one of us, one of their
Yeah.
3 kids.
Oh yeah,
They
no,
go batshit.
instant call to violence.
Oh
I
yeah.
had-
Yeah.
My
I
dad
had-
threatened to run somebody over because of that's a story I'll tell not on stream. We can talk about that in Discord.
I was bullied pretty bad in 8th grade, and she had like threatened my life. And my mom, it was of course like over Facebook, but they didn't do anything because it wasn't from her school laptop. My mom showed up every single day until they did something about it. And the one time they did something about it was when she hit me in front of one of the security cameras. Then she got suspended for 3 days.
Wow.
And look, all I'm
That
gonna
was it?
say is
That was it, yeah.
I spent my
she should
fair
have been
share of
fucking
time in
expelled.
trouble in school for fighting. I didn't start fights. I did my best to finish them, but I was usually outnumbered about 4 to 1.
I recently told my parents about a fight I almost got into, and they're like, "We had no idea that you were doing any of that." And I
My
was like, "Yeah,
sister got into
I
a
don't know."
fight, and I never like got into a physical fight. I used my words, and I was not always kind with my words. Sometimes it was justified, and sometimes it wasn't. I did, however, in middle
Yeah.
school, kick a guy in the junk because he called me a slut.
Wait,
Oh.
me too. I did
was
it
it
in
Yeah.
because you had
elementary.
gazongas?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Megalodongas.
I in 5th grade had the most popular boy in school tell me I stuffed my bra, and I looked him dead in the eyes and I went, "Yeah, I stuffed my bra every morning to come to school and get made fun of by assholes
No,
like
he
you."
was saying that hoping you would
Yeah.
pull them out to prove him wrong.
I'm sure he
So-
was, but
Yeah, I kicked a
I
kid in
am
the shins
too. I
'cause
have
he
a
made fun of me
penis. I've been
crying.
there.
I kicked a guy in
Seemed
the
an
nuts because he
appropriate
wouldn't leave me
response.
alone.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
okay,
I
well, this
got
is
in
more
trouble
just
for
kind
it.
of because like
I got-
none
See,
of
I've
my
never gotten in
friends had
trouble
ever
for
done
it.
it, and I kicked him fucking hard. And I had like, remember the older, they weren't quite military boots, but they were like black boots with like the heel that was like this thick. Well, I
Mhm.
kicked him straight with that fucking heel.
As you should.
Yeah, he was a dick.
Yeah,
but
the 2 times I got in real big trouble for fighting in school were the 2 times somebody forgot I had gotten bigger than them.
yeah,
The first one I put a kid through a locker,
Yeah.
through the locker, and the second time I put a different kid through a wall.
Yeah.
Apparently
there was the
I used to
stairs.
get violent and break things with people.
Hi, baby.
yeah. Well, or
Yeah,
you know,
I've-
use road signs for sledgehammers or whatever.
Axe.
Axe.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
Your best.
I've never gotten into a fight with a girl, like a physical fist fight. I've used my
But I
words and have been very intimidating, and apparently
Yeah.
that got me far. But I've definitely hit a few dudes in my time for
Yeah.
As
various
we should.
different things.
Yeah.
The
I will
fuck
say the
you
kid I
mean
kicked
as
in the
you
shins
I am
when
a
I was
dude.
crying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did it in the
Have
middle of the
we hit
hallway,
you?
and not yet.
No, but it sounds like you
I haven't
want
seen him in
to,
person.
and now I'm
Well,
afraid.
well then don't.
This
This
well-
is why
well
we're
then-
doing
Yeah.
sensitivity training, god damn it.
Listen, when you
Mm,
ask
this
the
is a good
cinnamon
segue.
roll, this is what you get.
Right.
Violence is in the air.
He
Cinnamon.
invited
Yes.
her.
Spicy.
This is true.
And besides,
Ah.
you bringing me back tomorrow,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
The
tomorrow
chaos.
is for shenanigans and chaos.
and this is not.
Always.
I was gonna say this is
Yeah.
well, this is shenanigans.
I mean,
and
if I had
debauchery.
my way.
It's slightly different.
Fair.
Valid.
All right.
Anyway,
well,
all right. Let's
I
get
guess
this
this
it's
show
over
your
on the
with.
time to
road.
attend. Yeah, the sensitivity
I
training,
feel like there's
which
a
we're all
decent
dreading,
segue,
but
right?
All right, so here's what's going to happen.
Violence is the question. The answer is yes.
I'm going to give you guys
Yeah.
some
That's the
scenarios.
answer, mother. I crave violence. Sorry.
all
All right,
right.
good trading.
ahead, Dave,
See you all
sorry.
next week.
I thought I
That
was
was
going to
easy.
burp. I apologize.
Right.
Fargo. What's the name of that
I'm going to
restaurant
give you
with all
guys
the shit in it?
scenarios,
Okay.
Okay.
and then you're going to tell me what you would do in that scenario.
Okay.
So, we'll start with D.
You love us too much.
D. Let's say
Okay.
you have a coworker whose name is Jeremy. Okay? And Jeremy comes to the office with dirt on his collar, wearing the same clothes he wore yesterday. He smells vaguely of alcohol and vomit. What do you do?
I asked him where he buried the body, because now I got a lot of questions, and I just want in on it. I'm not going to report him. I just want to know. If someone comes in with like dirt on their collar and are like slightly smelly and look rumpled, I first of all assume
100%
that
he's been up
much
all
like
night.
me, they were taking care of business.
Right. And I would want to make sure that they're not encroaching on my
business.
space either, you know?
Right.
There's
Right.
only
Don't
so
hunt in my
much dirt
territory.
in the world. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's fired. I didn't even take a turn. Why am I in trouble?
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Is
couple
this
problems
guilt by
with that.
association?
Assuming
use
that
code
someone
words.
did
Okay.
something.
That
I'm
I
sorry,
understand.
what?
I said I should have used code words. I can't just ask them about murder. I have to say like,
Right. Matter dollar. You know,
are you a
little
collector?
Are you about to come on an episode of
That's what
Bailey
you're saying, right?
Sarian?
Yeah. And I'm about to see you in the news or on My Favorite Murder podcast. That's what you meant, Dave, about the couple of problems. I get it. You know what? Thank you for that redirection. I think that that's super helpful.
No, you should probably keep your comments to yourself unless you're concerned about their well-being, in which case, just ask them how they are.
Huh.
Hey.
But has he
How
asked
are you
us how
doing?
we are?
Yeah.
No, because he's probably BFFs with Michael, and Michael's a dick.
Probably.
Sorry.
Michael's
See,
a dick.
this is why you're doing sensitivity
Yeah.
training.
I just had
I've
to get it
heard
out
about
there,
Michael.
okay? I just...
And you gals sound like bullies.
Because I'm talking to someone
Because
about their
Michael said
murder.
that, huh? Yeah, Michael's the one that said that. Is Michael dead yet? I didn't think so.
Wait, have
Yeah.
we ever seen? Have we
Yet?
seen like Michael and Jeremy? Like, have we seen Michael today?
Well, he was supposed to
Jeremy
come
murder
here, and he
Michael?
didn't. But we, you know...
Are we? I don't want to point fingers
No,
or
he was
anything.
supposed to be... But guys, we've been here since last night, remember?
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying-
where's Michael?
I don't fucking know. I'm not his mom.
I'm not his keeper.
Yeah.
Michael
He's
had
a
to
grown-ass
quarantine.
Oh.
That's highly suspicious.
Lucky.
Really?
Actually, not lucky. Last night was a fun.
Look, you know what? If Michael was, why Jeremy came in all disheveled and covered in dirt, I think I'll shake Jeremy's hand. That's all I'm going to say on that matter.
Jeremy's
I mean, to be
not
fair,
a
he
real
did us a favor.
person.
Yeah, right?
But he could be.
But wait, I have
Wait,
I
who
had
was
a
in the office after
I
hours?
interviewed a kid named
We're
Jeremy
fine
like
after
3 days ago for a
hours.
job.
If our key card lets us in, then it's not after hours, right?
Correct.
There you go.
And hi, we're talent. I was working.
Overtime pay.
Yeah. Bitch, pay me.
Have my money.
Bitch, better have my
my
money.
That's what you're looking for.
Dave
Bitch,
is
have
regretting
my
all
money.
of this at the moment.
He is so regretting this.
Yeah. Which is perfect.
Danger.
Our plan
We'll
is shaping
move
up
on to
nicely.
you.
Yeah. Okay.
You're walking through the woods, and you see it would appear that unfortunately somebody has been mauled by a bear.
Oh.
What do you do?
Yes. That was mandatory. Clarifying question. Is there a body, or is it just like I can tell because there's blood?
Oh
and
no, there's
trees
an
down and-
entire body there, or most of it.
Well, see, this is a tough one for me because what I have to do as a mandated reporter and what I would do are two different things. I would turn the fuck around and walk away if I could. As a mandated reporter, I have to call it into 911 or I could lose my certifications. And that's actually true because I was an EMT.
Yeah.
But shouldn't you call it in anyway?
No, fuck, I don't know where that bear is, and he might come for me. Or what if it wasn't a bear?
What if it was Shia LaBeouf?
Hollywood superstar Shia LaBeouf?
He's
Oh,
lurking in the
wait,
shadows.
he isn't dead. Shia surprise!
That's fucking amazing.
That's
Oh my god.
fantastic. That was perfect time.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
don't
God.
know. Like, it could be like somebody out there with a bear skull just trying to make it look like a bear attacked somebody else. I'm not fucking with it. Peace out, homies.
Yeah.
Legit.
Hasta la never, you know?
Hasta la never. Correct.
Shia LaBeouf?
Actual cannibal Shia. Yes.
Actual
That one.
cannibal
That is
Shia
the
LaBeouf.
correct Shia LaBeouf.
Le boeuf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Le boeuf.
LaBeouf.
Le boeuf.
The
Okay.
first time I ever watched that, it was at my friend's house,
Obsessed.
and he lives in the middle of the woods. And the only way to get out is like a single lane bridge, and it was like 2 a.m. and then I had to drive home.
That's just cruel and unusual punishment.
That's an
And a
Honestly.
little amazing. Kudos
And a
to
Yeah,
your
little
friend.
it could not have been perfect.
So, as a person who speaks at least a little bit of French, do you know what le boeuf means in French?
I do not.
The beef.
Mhm.
Of course it does. Of
We
course
have
it does.
the meats. We talk about
We
Arby's a
have
lot.
LaBeouf.
Arby's. We have the meats.
Yeah. Could you imagine if it was Arby's?
No,
We have
I'm
the
gonna
boeuf.
opt out of that. I'm on a weekend retreat, motherfucker.
Oh no, Arby's is catering lunch
You know,
today.
Respectfully, Chris,
Respectfully, no.
respectfully, no.
Mm-hmm. Also, you can't bitch about us being in the office after hours and then ask us to have an after hours meeting.
Wait,
Get
if
fucked.
Thank you.
it's
Thank you.
Tuesday, are we getting tacos and tequila?
Taco Tuesday. Yeah, we can't come tonight. It's Taco
Actually,
Tuesday, motherfucker.
Hey,
I want tacos so
anything's a
bad right now.
margarita if you believe. You have some Coke and some rum and you pour the rum in the Coke. You know what? It's a
Lime in the Coke.
margarita.
Lime in the coconut.
It's a margarita, but with rum instead of tequila and Coke instead of the other shit that goes in a margarita.
All right. I think we need to move it along because I'm getting bored.
Yeah.
ADHD is.
So remember when we talked about bullying?
No. Wait, where am I? How did I get here?
She just woke up here. I brought her here in my suitcase.
I don't
ask
know.
questions.
I don't know. I just work here.
Yeah.
This is a
It's
simulation.
so funny.
I mean, I guess.
This is the simulation.
What is happening?
Oh, Dave's sharing his patient. That's fair. You're leading the seminar. That makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, you
So
just want to
people
be in
can
the
see-
middle of this three-way. I get it, asshole.
Oh my god.
Noted.
Wouldn't it be a four-way?
No.
No, because you're only watching.
Oh. Okay.
You can
That
sit in the
is
corner with
our
Dawn, it's fine.
clarification, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
That is.
Hey.
You're technically right.
You do have a lot of paperwork to do after this, Chris. You better just drink beer instead. It'll help you forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
It will help you forget about it.
Does anybody remember the vine of the grandma who's like, to heck with diabetes, I'm eating chocolate cake and drinking beer?
No,
but I want to
No,
be
but
that
I
grandma.
love that
Really?
grandma now.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Right?
I'm gonna have to find the link and then send it.
Yes.
Please do.
Oh, it
Fucking
is
party.
amazing.
We need a party grandma t-shirt.
Party grandma.
Yeah.
Party
Only
grandma.
if we can put corn cob J in honor of my
Right?
grandma.
Oh,
Oh my god.
My favorite moment of the day. Anyway.
Okay, Sushi.
Yeah.
You had a thought in your head that when you got home from work, you would make lasagna because you really want lasagna. You saw
Oh, I
Garfield,
do want lasagna.
you know, One Pain comic, and you're like, yeah, lasagna. At lunchtime, you open the fridge to get your lunch, and you see that someone else has brought, let's say it's Michael. You see Michael has brought
It's on
homemade
site.
lasagna.
It's on site. Wait,
Michael's already
did
made the
I
lasagna.
did I bring the lasagna? Or did he
No,
bring the
Michael brought the lasagna,
But I want lasagna.
but you want lasagna. What do you
I
do?
take it. I take it. Fuck Michael. What?
Nobody likes Michael.
No.
Never likes
This
Michael.
is why he's disappeared. This is why no
Michael
one
What's his
hasn't
name on it?
disappeared.
Allegedly,
What's
down
his
here.
name on it?
Because
Was-
of because of potential contact.
Was his
You wanted
name
to
on
say
it?
content, didn't you?
Yes, his name was on it. He's quarantined because of potential content. Yes.
What's his last initial on it?
My name is Jared. I'm 19, and I never fucking learned how
I
to
fucking learned how to read. Right. Or you know he puts his name on shit with a masking tape thing. Just take the tape off. It fell off in the fucking car. Whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck Michael.
If it's not yours.
Hey, if he's in quarantine, it's gonna go to waste anyway.
Yeah,
So why not?
Yeah,
This is-
exactly. Exactly. I did him a favor. I did listen.
Exactly.
I
The
did
food
everybody
didn't go to waste.
exactly, and I did everybody a favor.
He's not
okay?
married. He
I cleaned-
lied to you.
Listen, I did everybody a favor. I ate the leftovers so that they wouldn't go rotten or
Yeah.
disgusting in the
Exactly.
fridge, and then it would stink.
Exactly.
And you washed his dish afterwards and set it in his cubicle. What the fuck is the problem here?
Yeah, with a
Yeah.
little heart and a smiley face note, like a little sticky note. I said, "You're welcome."
Guess what, Chris? They were store bought.
Yeah. I don't think Michael actually has a wife. I think he's been lying to us.
Yeah.
I think
No,
he's
he
been
does have a
catfished.
wife. I've met her.
No.
I don't
I
think
was
so.
I was in their wedding party.
But,
No, you
like,
weren't.
Chris
You were dreaming.
did
drugged
the
that.
ceremony.
Seems suspicious. Seems suspicious.
No, because I definitely would have been the flower girl. That's
Yeah,
weird.
I can see it.
That's weird.
You weren't literally there.
We
This
both
is a fever
were.
dream.
Y'all just want to stick up for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all it is.
why are
you guys like
you're-
Michael so much?
Yeah,
You
I
get
don't
on
know.
us for not liking Michael. Why do
Especially
you
because
like
he doesn't
him?
even do his fucking job right.
Right.
Like,
If
we're
he
always
did
picking
his
up his
job
messes.
appropriately,
I'd still
I
hate
wouldn't
him,
have
but I'd hate him
any-
less.
right.
I don't know. I just work here.
I mean, you're
For
newer.
now.
You haven't been here for most of the time.
I'm just a lowly intern trying to get a promotion.
You're doing a good job.
Thanks.
I mean, if it were up to us, obviously, we would give you the
Right,
promotion. But it's
yeah.
up to Chris.
But we're not
Unfortunately.
given that right.
Yes. She's like, I'm
I'm
just
just
trying
trying
to.
to-
I'm a bad bitch. You
Listen.
can't fire me.
Yeah, if Danger and I haven't been fired yet, then there's no shot Sushi's getting fired.
Right.
Everyone loves me too much.
Mm-hmm. That's why
Mhm.
you're first
You're
guest.
fired out of a cannon into the
That's
sun.
cute. That's cute.
Aw,
Thank you, Rick.
That's sweet.
Aw, see? Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
The three of you are
Mhm.
at a sensitivity training seminar.
Shocker.
Yeah, we're
Is that
here
what this
right
Pull
is?
now.
that example
No,
out of.
I'm giving you a scenario.
I thought
You're
this was the
creative.
Comedy Central roast of Michael.
I would for sure be the host of that. You don't even have to pay me.
This is Michael's funeral.
Yeah.
Eulogy.
Rip in pieces. Is that a Grogu tumbler you have?
It is.
Look at him. Look at I got a paper bouquet for Mother's Day.
Adorable.
That's
That's
awesome.
cute.
It was so cute. And it came with a card too.
Hey, if
That's
you guys
adorable.
want some, never mind. I just remember which
never mind.
store I did that for, and it wasn't
Oh.
this one.
Okay.
All right.
The three of us are at
We're at this
ever so
conference.
creative example
Blah,
of
blah,
a
blah.
sensitivity training.
We're just existing.
And yeah, still check out the merch store. There's cool stuff there. You
Yeah.
can get
And see.
Wait, are we in
You
sensitivity
might actually be getting
training?
fired after this.
Are we in sensitivity training for
I blame
to
my
just
meds.
have a merch plug?
100%.
right?
100%.
Wasting my goddamn time.
Right.
I know.
At least we get margaritas and tacos after.
Fair point. And
And
Chris is
sausages.
paying.
Chris is
Ooh.
paying. He's not here on the retreat with us, but he's paying.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, trainer.
that what
What do
you
you got for
all
us?
right. And you find that you have an opportunity to escape
I jump out
where
the window.
you're not going to get in trouble and nobody will know. Do
Fucking
you?
go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Not even a second
Do
thought.
we, wait, because clarifying question. Because this was a mandatory training from HR, do we still get credit for being here?
You have been signed in.
Deuces. See ya.
Bye.
I-
See ya.
So
I mean, it's better than what I was going to do, which is just get rip-roaring drunk in the back of the room and make a scene.
that's true,
Pick
we
which
did dance
option.
naked last year.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, though.
It was.
Yeah.
Dave went away.
I'm sorry I didn't have more prepared. I have been having a
No,
lot of
you're-
pain.
You're
That was
fine.
actually
You're
I was
fine. That was
thinking
amazing.
like that was a funny way if we just ended stream right now.
Yeah.
What would
Like,
y'all
we're
do?
out.
You're like,
Shut it
this
down.
is
It's done.
Oh, we should have thought
No,
ahead.
that was super
Yeah.
fun, guys.
was
Thank
a
you
lot of
guys for hanging out in chat along
Yeah.
that ride, because boy, we went places.
Oh, we for sure did.
And I love the Dave emote that just runs
love-
away.
Right? Spectacular.
Also, you didn't hire me. I just kind of forced myself in. So get over
big
it.
same.
Like,
Big same. I just started
we
showing
just
up
kind
and you
of,
didn't
like,
turn me
we're here
away.
now. Yeah,
Yeah. That's how it happens.
100%.
Amazing.
We just showed
Well,
up one day.
You know what, ladies? I think we aced sensitivity training. I think we
Yeah.
did the
So too.
best job of anyone
100%.
in the world
We will
ever.
never,
Absolutely.
ever have to do that again.
No.
Ever.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
At least not for us.
No.
Yeah, right.
We're fine.
Or you know what? We could even be leading the training next time
I think we
because we are
should. I
such
think we need to
exemplary
lead it
students.
for the boys, because if we have to do it, the boys should
Yes.
have to
Can
go
you
through it.
imagine if we
Yes.
led it for the boys? That
Next
would
week
be
on next week on LTN.
Probably not next week. Let's give us a couple weeks to set it up, because clearly
maybe
anything
that'll
they
be
can do,
in.
we can
It
do
seemed like a
better.
good idea at the
So
time.
that would be fun.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we'll do
Chris
that for
is
him.
just
It seemed
no.
like a good idea at the
Not
time.
even disrespectfully, Chris. No
Disrespectfully,
to your
yeah.
no. You're not exempt.
I love it.
You're still talent. The talent side of you
Last
still
I
has to go
checked.
through it.
Last I checked, you were still in the boat with us. All right,
We're
so I think
drowning,
that means that it is now time to move into our final segment of the day, the long-awaited segment, which is talking about the femme fatale this week. Amazing. So of course I got to pick this week because I'm leading the show for today. It'll be
Yeah,
different
if you didn't know, D and I always trade off week to week.
Well, it would be, we agree on too many things. It would be so difficult for us to be like, this is who we both want to talk about this week, because you'd be like, ooh, what about this person? Ooh, what about this
Right.
person? Ooh, what about this person?
Yeah, and that's
I
why,
would just
like,
never make a
we keep
decision.
it quiet up until, like, right
Yeah.
before the show too. Who the other one is
Literally.
picked outside of last week, when, like, the
Oh, that
week
was
prior was
different.
like, I'm doing Blake Lively next week.
Yeah,
Like,
remind
done
me.
and done. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I was like, remind me if I forget, and I didn't forget. I'm very proud of myself for that. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
No, all good. So this week we're doing the wonderful Dame Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
She was born Julia Elizabeth Wells, but obviously shit happens. And so she goes by Julie Andrews on screen. Actually, she was born on October 1st of 1935, which I think makes her a Libra, which is probably why I like her so much, because I too am a Libra. Makes sense. So she's done everything.
What hasn't she done?
Like literally. She's gotten an Academy Award, a British Academy Film Award, Primetime Emmys, Grammy Awards, Golden Globes, Tony Awards. Like fucking you name it, that's an award she's been given. She actually started out as a child actress and singer in the West End. Her first show being in 1948, and her Broadway debut of The Boyfriend, and it's boy and friend are two separate words. She was billed as Britain's youngest prima donna, but I think she's actually like really nice from everything I've heard. Like everyone talks about how cool she is.
I mean, she's fucking Mary Poppins.
She's fucking Mary Poppins,
I'm
which is one of my favorite
Mary
of all
Poppins,
time.
y'all.
Right?
Let's see. She starred in My Fair Lady, playing Eliza Doolittle. In Camelot, she was Queen Guinevere. She was in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, for television version, which is great. And then obviously we all know her from Disney's Mary Poppins. One of my favorites, The Princess Diaries. Love that show very much.
Sound of
Also
Music. Don't forget that.
Sound of Music.
Yes. Oh, The Sound of Music. Unforgettable. Truly. And which she did win a Golden Globe for Best Actress for that role
Okay,
too, by
good.
the way,
Yeah.
for The Sound of Music.
Wow.
But yeah, Princess
Mhm.
Diaries is one of my favorites. A queen is never
Yes.
late, my dear. Everyone else is simply early.
Simply early.
I said that
Ugh.
to my sister on her wedding day because she was so worried about
Oh,
running behind on the
I love
itinerary.
that.
And I was like, my dear.
Yeah,
So sweet.
I love that.
I try. I just want to emulate Julie Andrews as much as fucking possible. But
Right?
clearly, I'm not
Absolutely.
nearly as
Goals.
proper as she is.
Well, I mean, you weren't born in England, so. She was
That's
born on
probably
Walton
it.
on Thames in Surrey, England, by the way. Like, that's a
Ooh.
super posh name. She has been married twice. So she was first married to Tony Walton and then later to Blake Edwards. She has 5 children, which I did
Oh,
not know. I did not
I
realize
didn't
that she had
either.
5 children, right?
I honestly I think assumed she was married, but didn't know to whom.
No, I
Who?
don't know a
What?
whole lot about her, like, personal life,
Yeah,
which is
yeah, which is
interesting.
amazing being that she's been in the business that long, and
Right.
kept her personal
Literally
life private.
since she was, like, a baby child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Interestingly enough, her mother, Barbara Ward Wells, married Edward Charles, who went by Ted. I don't know how you get Ted from Edward or Charles. That
Yes.
seems like a jump that I can't quite make.
Yes.
Um, but Andrews was actually conceived as the result of an affair her mother had with a family friend. The drama.
Ooh.
But she didn't figure that out
Spicy.
until like 1950. And it wasn't publicly
Scandalous.
disclosed until she wrote her autobiography.
Biography?
Autobiography.
There you go.
I don't know why that word just
Interesting. I didn't
left
even
my
know
brain
she had
until in
written one,
2008.
and now I need to read it.
Yeah, she wrote an autobiography in 2008. Very interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. When World War II broke out, her parents got divorced. They each remarried. Barbara married Ted Andrews, which is where she gets her stage name
Oh,
from.
sure.
And Ted married, which is interesting that she went from Ted
Ted to
Wells
Ted.
to Ted Andrews.
Yeah. But
Curious.
Ted Wells was not like legally
Ted was not
his
his
middle
actual
name
name.
was I wonder if his
Edward
middle name was
Charles.
Theodore or Edward Charles. But
Yeah.
a lot
No,
of
Edward
English
Charles.
people have more than one middle name, you know?
True. I mean, it could be like a
So it could
confirmation name or
be
something, but
yeah, or a family name that, was given as a nickname. But yeah, that's very
true.
interesting. She
Isn't
has a
it?
thing for Teds, clearly.
She has a thing for Teds. So Ted went on
Have
to
you met Ted?
marry Winifred Maud Burkhead, a war
Mhm.
widow and former hairstylist, which I'm like, I don't know why we need that information, but okay.
But it's an
Um,
interesting.
right? So she then, I think, yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm just reading through my notes.
No,
Um,
you're good.
so then she went on to obviously do a lot of the shows that we've talked about before. She's been in so much. She was in a movie with Bing Crosby and High Tour. She starred with like all of the greats, essentially. Um, I mean, she's had an amazing career, and throughout all of it, she's managed to like garner respect, like a lot of respect in the industry
Mhm.
as well. I feel very similar to like how I feel about Meryl Streep. Like they're both very respected
Yes.
people who like no
Yes.
one's gonna fuck around with them on set because they value like their time far too much
Right.
to be any kind of drama around Julie
Right.
Andrews. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
She's
Plus,
super
what an
fucking
honor
funny.
to work with either of them, you know? I mean,
Right? I would
I
literally
would be
die.
on my very best behavior if I were like
Oh my
even
god.
able to like watch them work for 5 minutes.
Right?
Let alone be able to
Exactly.
share a stage or a movie set with them. So
Mhm. Julie Andrews is actually apparently very funny. She was on the Ed Sullivan Show, the
Yeah.
Dinah Shore Chevy show, What's My Line? Like she's done a bunch of stuff. She was even on a CBS special, Carol Burnett, who
Yeah.
Carol Burnett is fucking
Oh,
hysterical.
She is
I
funny.
Yeah,
love
they did a
her.
show called Julie and Carol at Carnegie Hall. So
Yeah.
like she's really funny, but we don't see her comedic side nearly as much in her acting, which I think is fascinating. Like a lot of
I
her
agree.
roles are like more serious. Not that they're like she's drama only, but it's more of like even The Sound of Musical. There's like cute and funny moments, but it's still like a very serious musical in the grand scheme of things. Which
Yeah.
I just think is fun that she like struck that balance. With Mary Poppins too, like she's a nanny who has magic and like all this stuff, but she's no nonsense. You know what I
Right.
mean? I
Yeah,
just love that about her.
I do too.
Yeah. She hasn't done as much in recent years, but I mean, she's also like 80 something. However, she is the narrator, Lady Whistledown in Bridgerton, which I think is
Yes,
amazing.
she
I love
is.
Bridgerton.
It's
Oh,
Amazing
so
fucking
good.
show.
So good.
I'm obsessed with Bridgerton. I cannot wait.
interesting.
Oh, it's so good. And she also narrated the film The King's Daughter for Gravitas Ventures in 2022, although the
Okay.
narration was recorded in 2020. Um, and she was recently honored as well this past summer with the American Film Institute's Lifetime Achievement Award, where she got to reflect on her career, and there was a ton of like tributes to her by a ton of different people.
Wow.
And she's also played Gru's mother in Minions. So Minions: The Rise of Gru, which just came out recently as well. She reprised her role as Gru's mom, which is just
Oh
I think so funny.
yeah.
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 Um, so she was forced to quit singing for a little while, and the specifically Victor Victoria show, the stage production, in 1997 when she developed hoarseness in her throat and had to undergo surgery at Mount Sinai Hospital, where they removed non-cancerous nodules from her throat.
Okay.
And it's evidently due to a certain kind of muscular striation that happens on the vocal cords.
Mhm.
And it's not the result of strain. It was just like something natural that occurred in her body. But
Okay.
unfortunately, that meant that she had permanent damage and destroyed the purity of her singing voice, which is why we haven't really seen her do too many movies
Yeah,
where she was singing. Like, obviously, she
I
never did another
remember.
Sound of Music kind of a thing. Yeah, I remember that
Right.
being big headlines.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
and
that's why her voice is kind of a little bit raspy now.
yeah, yeah, and I think I heard it because didn't they do like a televised Sound of Music not long ago where she
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
featured or honored during it or something, and she sang or wanted to sing, but she had made the
yeah,
disclaimer that her voice wasn't, and it might have just said, my voice isn't what it used to be, but
Mhm.
I
yeah.
remember vaguely.
So, yeah, because of it, she actually ended up suing the doctors at Mount Sinai Hospital for malpractice.
Wow.
And that lawsuit was
Oh.
settled for an undisclosed amount because she never got her true singing voice back. She used to have a 4 range octave, which is fucking impressive. Like a 4 octave
Yeah.
soprano is
Yeah.
like impressive. And now it's just like a really fragile alto. She
Yeah.
once joked that she can now just sing the hell out of Old Man River, though. So at least there's that. And
Love
it's like,
that.
I love that you're still trying to find like the beauty in that because I would
Oh,
not.
as a second alto, like, I love that, or parts
Hmm.
of Old Rugged Cross was always one of my favorite songs to sing. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm glad that she can find some humor and,
Yeah.
good
She
in
has
that.
since had 4 other operations since 2000 onward to try
Wow.
and improve her singing voice. And unfortunately, while it has improved her speaking voice because she had a really large rasp after the
Yeah.
nodules were removed and that surgery
Yeah.
was botched, it has not returned her singing voice, which has got to be for someone who started out like on West End in musicals, had such like a huge life of that. I mean, she was doing that for like 60 years before this happened. To have that like
Right.
stripped from you, ugh, that would just be
So sad.
devastating,
Devastating. Yeah.
right? I'd be
Yeah.
distraught. Um, and then, yeah, so I did have a little bit of information about her first husband, Tony Walton, was a set designer. They got married in May of 1959. They first met in 1948, but I don't think that they had started dating at that point.
She would have been
But
what,
they
13 in 48?
no,
Yeah, she was
she
born
was
in 35.
in 48. She would have been, yeah, I guess it is 13. Wow.
13 or 14, which is still crazy.
Yeah, that's still crazy. But apparently that's when they met, was when she was appearing at the London casino doing the show Humpty Dumpty. It doesn't say anything about when they first started dating. It just says when they first met. But in November of 1962, they welcomed their daughter Emma, who now goes by Emma Walton Hamilton, who's a famous children's book author. And then they subsequently divorced in 1968. She then got married to actor Blake Edwards in 1969. So she was like, quick turnaround. She was like, I know what I'm about. We're doing this.
Yeah.
So good for her. So
Yeah.
she became stepmother to his children, which he already had 2 children from a previous marriage as well, Jennifer and Jeffrey. And then in the 1970s, Edwards and Andrews adopted 2 Vietnamese daughters, Amy, later known as Amelia, in 1974, and Joanna in 1975. They remained married for 41 years until he died in December of 2010, at 88 years old. So now Julia is actually grandmother to 9 grandchildren and great grandmother to 3. So she's got a wonderful extended family, which I think is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Mary Poppins being your grandmother?
Oh
Right.
my God.
Well,
I
that's
just,
like
I just
James
saw
right?
this.
like, yeah.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
saw, I think it was on TikTok or something. It was like an interview with her, and she was whoever was interviewing her had asked her, like, do your grandkids or your great grandkids like know who you are? So she was like, well, she was talking about this one time where she was picking one of her grandkids up from school or daycare or
Hmm.
something, and they were watching the movie, and she came in, and he looked at the screen, and then looked at her, and then looked at the screen, and then her daughter was
That's so
like,
cute.
That's grandma." And
Yeah.
he was like so shook. It was so cute.
That's
I
adorable.
love that. That's
That's,
adorable. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. She's just an icon, really.
she
I mean,
I
really
adore
is.
her.
I do too. She's actually published 2 autobiographies, Home, a memoir of my early years in 2008, and Homework, a memoir of my Hollywood years in 2019. So that came out not too long ago.
okay.
Um, she was ranked 59 in the BBC's poll of the 100 greatest Britons, which I think is too low for her, honestly. Like, who's above her?
Absolutely. Yeah,
59 is disrespectful,
I
honestly,
agree.
to Dame Julie Andrews. Like, no.
Absolutely.
Um,
I agree.
right? And then in 2003, she was lucky enough to revisit her first Broadway success, but this time as stage director for the revival of The Boyfriend, which I think is cool. That
Yeah.
even though she can't, obviously she can't sing in the way that she used to, that she still wants to be involved in musical
Yeah.
theater, especially and in Broadway and the West End and things
Mhm.
like that as well.
Yeah.
That's still so important to her. Um,
Absolutely.
she's also authored some of her own children's books as well, which I think is cool.
I did know that.
I
Yeah,
definitely
that
want to
is
go look
cool.
those up because that would be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little bit about her. We didn't get
Yeah.
too much this time. A lot of the times we like to look at like what their like charity work and things like that are. I don't have a
Yeah.
lot of information on hers because again, she is largely a pretty private person. Like there aren't a ton of interviews. Everything she has, she writes in her books, and that's like her outlet. But I think her work speaks for itself and her kindness. It's always been my understanding that she's very kind to all the fans and
Yeah.
everything. Like she takes time with people. She definitely has this air of like sweet grandmother about her now, because she's a
Yes.
great grandmother, so she kind of is one. But yeah, I absolutely love her. I adore her movies. I grew up watching her movies with my family, and I just can't imagine what it would be like if she had not had a botched vocal surgery. What other gifts we would have been given in the forms of Julie Andrews musicals.
Right. Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just fascinating. But
right.
yeah, she just, like I said, she's an icon and somebody I
She
think
is.
so many. I know, like being a little girl, like I looked up to her, and of course, like that's what I can speak
Mhm.
for. But I am
Right.
sure not only little girls looked up to her.
Oh, yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, like I remember watching The Princess Diaries and going, "Can I have a grandma like you? Like,
Right?
can you
I
just
want that.
please?" And I love my grandmother, but it was
Mhm.
just she's just so sweet and kind and proper, but without being. I mean, there are some really funny moments in that movie that come from her dialogue, and
Yeah.
uh, she just delivers it just expertly. Hello,
Yeah.
Gaming Panda. How are
Hey,
you?
Healing Panda, good to see you.
Yes, come back.
That's
Yeah,
Dom.
Uh,
that's right. I was like, I know who that is because we've talked to them before. But hey, Dom.
Hi, babe.
oh, hey. I know. I was
Yeah, so
like
that's
looking
why I
back at
wanted to
what
pick
they said
her.
before. I think that that's a awesome,
Yeah.
awesome choice. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think she definitely fits in with the caliber of our other choices.
Yes.
Um, Chris had wanted me to do Charlotte North this week because she's famous in the lacrosse world for just being an incredible athlete and very much a bridge between the men's game and the women's game of the sport. And I think we'll definitely talk
Right.
about her at some point. But yeah, I don't know what it was, but I was just like, who I really, really want to talk about because I just love her is Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I agree. I think that
yeah,
was a good one for today.
yeah,
Um,
I thought so.
can we get one last shout out for Sushi for joining us, our
Yes,
first ever
absolutely.
Thanks for
guest here on
having
Bubble
me.
Tea?
I
This
didn't
was so
realize
much
I
Hopefully you'll
was
fun.
the
come back.
first. Yeah,
Hmm
I hope you guys
Yes.
will
You are
have
our first
me.
ever guest. Absolutely,
Um,
we will.
You too, Dave.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Sure.
We had so many great conversations today that I think we would be
Oh my
stupid not to
God.
have you back as another guest.
Yes.
Oh,
It was
We would
so
literally be
good.
dumb.
Even
it
if we
was
Yeah.
just
great.
like sit and talk, like
I mean,
for
we could also
Yeah.
do
hours,
that.
But yeah, you definitely added a new layer to the show, which I think we all very much enjoyed.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and speak for everyone on that. We all enjoyed it.
Hmm.
Thank you for having
So
me.
if you haven't checked out Sushi's channel, please go do so. Give her a follow.
Yeah.
She is amazing.
I try.
She yes, Chris.
What's
The
your
answer
one
is no.
question?
Either no, I didn't do
Respectfully or
it.
disrespectfully, I'm not sure yet. Depends on the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Depends on the
What level
question.
of respect are we? You.
You
You.
obviously, you're
As
CEO.
yeah, CEO
Yeah.
And you
has to
promised
get a
us
treat.
dinner and drinks.
It only
We did.
sometimes smells
So,
like feet. Uh,
uh,
yeah. But yeah,
and
it
as
was great.
you, pointed out earlier, it's a weekend retreat on a Tuesday, so you're already getting a
Oh,
deal.
stinky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, so thanks again, you guys, for hanging
Yeah.
out. If you are new to the channel and you like what you saw, feel free to hit that follow button.
Please.
Whatever the button is on this channel.
Yep.
Ring the notification bell. Is that what Dave is trying to tell me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Love going up on
Buy the merch. Join
Yeah.
buy the
Discord.
If
merch. Check out the merch.
Give us
Mitch,
your money. Give us your money. Or give them your
if you're
money.
able
Yeah, shut up
to,
and give me your money, please.
yeah, if
Respectfully.
you're able to, throw us a
Check
subscription
out.
on Twitch. If you have
Yes.
Prime, you get a free one
Thank
every
you.
month. You
That's
can
where I was
spend it
gonna
on
go.
us, or you can spend it on somebody else. Either way, it makes somebody's day. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, thank you
Ring
for
that bell.
giving us views on YouTube. Be sure to put any questions you have in the chat, and then maybe the next time we have Sushi back, we can answer some of those
Yes.
questions.
Yeah, I'd love to do a little AMA.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, comments, not chat, whatever, same shit.
Different
Y'all
day.
know
Or
what I
pop
meant.
it in the Discord.
It's all the same. It's all the
Hang
same.
out there.
Exactly.
We are there. It will now be known. Yeah.
A Mitch
I
store.
can confirm and deny.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sushi, anything to add before we
Yeah.
sign off? Check her out. She's pretty fucking rad.
I guess I'll be here again tomorrow, causing
Yes,
chaos
yeah,
with Dave.
chaos with Dave
Yes.
tomorrow.
I don't know
'cause Chris
what the
is
hell
I'm
we're
sorry
doing.
already.
I don't know what we're doing. All I know is
Neither does
that
he.
We're gonna
I'm
figure it
being
out as we go. Come along for the ride. Though
Welcome
yeah.
you are
to
caught up on
LTN
She-Hulk,
Media.
yes?
Yes, I am. I'm caught
Fabulous,
up on
because that is
She-Hulk.
one thing we're doing tomorrow, because we haven't got to talk about the show at all yet.
No, we haven't. Or you
And-
haven't.
And I need to talk to somebody about it, because What in the Sicarian fuck is going on with Hulk?
Right.
Oh, if I know. We'll talk about it. But yeah, I'll be live on Saturday over at my channel for a little bit of D&D. The Saturday campaign is called Roll for Dick Size.
Yep.
Love it.
So
That's fantastic fucking name for a D&D campaign.
I am the only girl. I'm the only girl. And it's all boys. And I want to cry sometimes.
And you're the DM,
you
right?
have a
Like,
command. You can spend channel points to have your dick size.
Yeah, you can roll for PP size on my channel.
it.
So if that's what if you want to get your PP size,
you know, we have to
check
get
that
our D&D session off the ground. David's been promising it for a while. That we might have to do our very own LTN D&D. And maybe we might have a special guest on that as well.
So here's the thing. I've been trying to find someone to DM because I don't want to do it. I want to fucking play.
I don't want to do it either. Yeah.
And now that one of somebody else's campaigns ended, I was thinking about talking to her about it.
Here's the thing. So I had a series on my channel. If you go to my YouTube channel, it'll be there. It's called Mistresses of Magic and Mayhem. And we did the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and it was me and a bunch of my girlfriends, and we just fecked around and found out. So now that is over, I am in the process of recasting for Maestros of Magic and Mayhem, debuting in October.
Well, if you need a slot filled, I can play Vickle the Mad.
Okay. I'll put a pin in it. I have to figure out who's coming, who's going, and all that jazz. So I'll be in touch. I'll have my people call your people.
Fabulous.
Perfect response.
But in the interim, would you want to help set up a one shot?
My brain was like, "Don't do that, because then that means you call me."
Because I was thinking we want to do it on a day that we don't usually stream on this channel.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks
and
for
everybody's always busy. Like all the people I know who could do it are always busy. And then your slot freed up. So I've been planning on talking to you about it, but I wanted to wait and let you get scheduled into your school schedule first.
Yeah, sure.
I'm dying.
I know,
this is so fucking funny now. All right.
Rest to pee, guys.
I do have to pee before I pee my pants. But we love you guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Stream.
And we still don't have a fucking outro for this show.
No.
So, peace.
This is out of here.